Ready? Ready? Let's do it.
Ready.
It is February 2nd, 2015.
2016?
2016.
Oh, look, fucking
Talking
fucking up
Reckless
continuity
podcast.
now.
My name is Matt Eads. It's great to have you. Okay, let's do it.
Can we just run through the whole show first?
Yeah,
Just so
okay.
I know where
let's
we're
do a
going?
dry run.
Okay.
Turn the mics off.
This is the
people.
part where I'm gonna do the intro, and then I'm gonna hit a real stinger of a joke. It's gonna be quick and sassy.
Quick,
It's gonna
okay.
cut, and you got two of you are gonna laugh. One of you's gonna like, the cell. One of you's gonna be offended. All right, that's how we're gonna do. Ready? We're ready. Okay.
Racist joke? I'll be the one.
Yeah. All right. Let's do that. Okay. Welcome to the show. It's February the 2nd, 2016. This is the Talking Reckless podcast. My name's Matt Eads, your host with the most. Great to have you here. Thanks for joining me.
Really? That was the stinger?
That wasn't the one.
Oh, man.
I was leading up to it still.
Okay,
On
keep
the
going.
size there, running color, all irregular.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
You missed it.
That was the one.
That was your...
Who's supposed to pick up the ball now?
Brandon Lynch.
How are you?
I'm okay, man. How are you?
I'm just dandy. Hell of a lot better than the last couple days.
Yeah, great to have you here as well.
Thank you.
Kevin Byer,
Yeah.
always a pleasure.
Thanks.
Thanks for making it.
We're back after hiatus
Yeah, we had
1 week.
a week off there, yeah. No one could get it together. I mean, you and I,
Well,
Kevin,
we
could have sat down
got it
here.
together, but as I've always said, no way in fucking hell am I ever doing a two-man show.
I thought it might have been a great opportunity for us to like really hash out that spoken word rap album that we're working on.
Well, we can't really do it on the show because if we do, then everyone will steal our thunder.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
It's gonna be
great.
good.
it's gonna be
It's gonna be
human.
real good.
It's gonna be touching.
It's going to be real.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be deep.
Oh yeah.
It's going to go places.
It's gonna go a lot of places.
Henry Rollins would be proud.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know who that is either.
From the Rollins Band.
And he's a big spoken word artist.
Okay.
There you go.
And he was also in Sons of Anarchy. He was the Aryan brother.
And I'm pretty
Oh,
sure he's been
really?
on wrestling.
Maybe.
Yeah?
Seth
Yeah.
Rollins is on wrestling.
Maybe it's his son.
Maybe. Seth Rollins is like 26.
That would make sense. Henry Rollins is like 60.
Is that a shtick being
Oh,
like
I see. I
spoken
thought I
word?
was going the other way with it. I was like, I thought he'd be like 4 or something.
Like spoken word? Is that his
Yeah, no, that's what he does now.
What
He's-
was that one?
I mean, it's not a shtick. That's
I guess. So,
It's a
yeah.
real-
It's being like, oh, is it rap music? Is that Kanye's shtick now?
Electrician?
Well, I mean,
is that
it
your
is.
shtick?
No, Kanye's shtick is being batshit crazy.
Being a
Yeah.
heel, yeah. Being the heel.
Did you hear about him and Wiz Khalifa?
Heard they got into it. Heard
Yeah.
they mixed it up.
Sort of, yes.
Oh, what
Wiz
happened?
Khalifa tweeted at Kanye West and said, "Why don't you hit some of that KK and shut up?" or something like that. And Kanye thought he was saying Kim Kardashian, "Why don't you go hit your wife?" And so he went on this like 16 tweet long rant at Wiz Khalifa, insulted him, his ex-wife, his children.
Yeah, I
like
did hear
went
about this.
batshit crazy. And then 2 days later, Wiz Khalifa tweets him back. He's like, "Yo, KK means marijuana, son." And then Kanye was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I learned something
I mean,
today."
I know the second. What's the first K? I know what the second K probably is.
I don't know. I don't
Cool.
know, man.
Cool Kush?
Really, yeah.
You think it's cool? Why'd you hit that
really
cool?
K.
Why'd you hit that cool Kush?
Further stemming from this altercation,
Right.
Wiz Khalifa's is it ex-wife?
I don't know if they were ever married, but I mean, I heard that she's like a straight up stripper or hooker
her
or
name's
something.
Amber Rose. She has a big behind, as most of these rap guys' girlfriends
Junk
are.
in the trunk.
But she also used to be, I don't know if they were married, but they were attached. Kanye and her were attached.
Oh, really?
Oh,
So that's
okay,
where a lot of
yeah.
the beef is coming from.
And then she tweeted something about how Kanye liked his ass played with during sex. And so fucking Reddit just blew up with this. And yeah, so that's...
You know, a man can't enjoy a little butt play here and there. What's
It's supposed to remain in the bedroom, not on the social media.
Oh yeah, they brought it right out.
That's great.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you insult someone's kid, then the butt play insults are coming out.
Exactly.
That's really all you can do.
Yeah.
Escalation.
That was your rap minute here on the Talking Reckless podcast. let's flip on over to the video games minute for a bit. What'd you guys get up to the last couple weeks? It's been a while since we saw you. Real life, real talk.
I finally got around to beating Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Finished.
Yes. Great game. I didn't really give a fuck about the story, though. Like, at the end, it just got dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, did the first not the first Tomb Raider, the first of this series,
Yeah.
not also totally do that same thing though?
Well, I
Right at the
mean,
end.
As somebody who didn't play it, I heard that, yeah, it went from somewhat normal to, oh, by the way, now you're fighting wizards and shit.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
don't know that either Tomb Raider's strength was really in its story.
no, but in the first one, it was a cool, like, progression to watch, like, I wouldn't say innocent Lara Croft become like hardened survivor Lara Croft, and in this one carrying it over into being like accepting that she likes violence.
Yeah, now she's into it.
Yeah, like there is like just that undertone that she is into violence.
She stabs
Which
the
I
guy in
like.
the eye with the arrow and then just smirks at the camera.
Just pulls the camera out and then just licks the blood off it.
Gross.
And
Yeah, too far. Come on.
Whoa, come on.
well, it sort of touches on her talking to. I don't know who she is, but I think she was her father's girlfriend at some point, and they developed some sort of bond. And
As men and their girlfriends sometimes do.
well, Lara and
Oh, okay.
dad's girlfriend.
Stepmom.
Oh.
For lack of a
okay.
better. All right.
Well, some of the things I watch, that's totally common.
They talk about how the events of the past game kind of affect Lara, and there's just undertones of like how Lara kind of like
She misses it.
is coming to terms with it. And like it's interesting that they actually address that because she's kind of a mass murderer in that
Yeah.
sense.
She'd probably be pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
if
she's
she was
not a
a real
murderer.
person.
She's defending herself. She's always
Sometimes.
defending
I will
herself.
say,
Some-
I will say, I had ample opportunity to let a man live and did not take it.
So that was interesting. Yeah, and then this one just kind of devolved into like
Magic? Is that it? Do you get to the end and they shrug their shoulders and go, it's magic?
sort of.
I don't know.
It wasn't so blatant as the first one or like the Uncharted's, but it was still like there are these beings that are
Oh, nice. Aliens.
no. Well, I don't know.
Who are we to say?
It's good though. It's a good game. It's fun, and
Comes out on PC right away.
is that not out yet?
Nah, no. It'll
I think it was like
be
March-ish.
PC and
Yeah.
beginning of quarter two.
Yeah.
Whenever that is.
Worth playing, I'd say.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to get it as soon as it comes to PC.
Yeah.
Looks really nice.
Oh, I can't wait to
And
see
it's
it.
significantly better playing than the first one, I
Yeah.
think, as a game.
And I thought that first one played fine, so...
Well, the first one was very
Great.
much so like duck behind cover and shoot.
Yeah.
This one has a big chunk of exploration and solving like these fucking tomb puzzles and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
So how many of the tomb puzzles did you do? Did you find a lot of them, or?
Yeah, I did a lot of them, quite a
Yeah.
bit of them. Yeah. Like I got within like 90% of each area.
Wow.
Yeah. And all that other stuff is like find these hidden caches which give you supplies which I didn't really need because you get a lot of that stuff in the end.
Well, yeah, you killing guys and
There's something I
take
wanted to
their
mention.
bullets.
Okay, so with Uncharted, you're Nathan Drake and you're kind of happy-go-lucky, and you're running through these tombs and things are falling and
Yeah,
you're falling
You're
and
a garish, like, slapstick in a way.
yeah, pulp fiction-y, like just like lighthearted stuff.
Yeah.
And it's you can totally buy it in that type of thing. But with Tomb Raider, it's kind of a little too self-serious for when that stuff happens, because that stuff happens. Like you're running through this tomb and things are just crashing and you're falling and you're hurting yourself. At some point, you're like, oh, you should probably just fucking rest. You can't go on. You're a little girl.
It's kind of like the first one, though, right? She gets the rebar through her stomach there, right off the... Listen, Snake, we're trying to record a podcast.
yeah.
She gets the rebar through her gut right in the very beginning,
Yeah.
and then it's a video game. She, of course, she just walks it off. But, like, I sort of like that stuff. I know a lot of people got down on it for being kind of,
it's
like,
good.
torture porny, but...
It is good. It's just
I
like...
like a bloody...
Just there's a different tone.
Tough to come off that.
There's a different tone between
Not for me.
Uncharted and Tomb Raider, in which Uncharted it feels like it plays. Tomb Raider doesn't.
Sorry to steal all your thunder.
That's fine.
We were actually just over here being really funny. Speaking of solving tomb puzzles.
Well, wait, on that. I also played...
Sure. That might be for the best.
Yeah. I also played King's Quest.
Oh, good.
Oh
Episode-
shit!
Quest.
I forgot to
Episode one?
play episode 1.
Episode 1, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't
Really?
know. It's like at the same time I'm saying I prefer Uncharted because it was lighthearted compared to Tomb Raider. This is just a little too lighthearted for me too.
Yeah, it's funny. It's
Yeah.
a comedy of errors.
Yeah. And I don't know, like
There's no impending end of the world for you to stop.
yeah, there's not anything
We
I
might be
really
heading
want
that way.
to take seriously. It's interesting. Christopher Lloyd is great. And I mean that takes me back to Doc Brown and everything. And
How far did you get?
not very far. I passed that dragon part, got the mirror. And then he's on another thing, which I kind of stopped at because then you guys started talking about the witness. The whiteness?
The witness.
The witness.
The witness, yeah. That's John Blow's puzzle game that he made a catheter to finish. He's been working on it for
It's like 8 years.
yeah, since Braid apparently, which was 2006. That was a Summer of Arcade game. 2006.
This is the only thing he's been working on since then.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the picture of the catheter? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No,
I
I
have
heard
no
I heard
idea
it
what you're
blow
talking
up Twitter, but
He tweeted a picture and it said something to the effect of like, "Oh, here's something else I made to help finish the witness," and it's a straw. It's like coming off frame. It's a very long green straw that just is cut into a bottle cap, and the bottle is full of what looks like pee. Yellow liquid. And that was it. That was all you ever heard about it. He never cleared it up as far as I know.
it's a real puzzle.
What kind of fucking psycho makes his own catheter?
He made a hell of a video game.
Well-
Yeah, he did. He certainly did.
I don't know if you heard about this, but at the I want to say Australian poker tour, you know who Antonio Esfandiari is.
Yeah.
A lot of other people probably won't. He's number 2 on the all-time Poker's List winnings, and he had a prop bet with somebody at this tournament to see if he could go. I'm not too sure how long it was, but it was whoever could stay at the table the longest and not leave the table for any reason.
Okay.
So I think somewhere around hour 17, he pulled out a 2-liter Coke bottle, unzipped right at the table, just kind of scooched underneath a bit, and just filled this bottle because he had to piss so bad.
I mean, that's a little. You're not putting a tube inside you.
it's
I don't know
true.
if you've ever had a catheter. It might be one of the worst things in the world.
No, I have never had. I always just assumed it was like a little suction cup that they put over the top of your dick.
If only.
That'd be way smarter. No, it goes all the way to the bladder.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's horrible. It is horrible.
That does sound horrible.
And allegedly, John Blow just fucking whipped one up at home. That's super fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, having played the game, I believe that pushed him right over the edge. The witness, that is.
Tell me about the witness, you guys.
Broke his mind. It's a puzzle game. Very in the vein of something like Myst from way back when.
Mm-hmm.
You are kind of waking up on an island. I assume it's an island. It looks like an island.
Yeah.
There's definitely water
Yeah.
in more than one spot. So
And then you're just sort of left to go. They give you a couple basic puzzles. They sort of show you how you're going to be interacting with the world. And then you're just left to your own devices. There may or may not be a story.
I've seen no story yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
may or may not be an ending.
You can, like, the environment is maybe inferring a little bit of a story. Like, you can sort of be like, oh, okay, they made boats here.
Right.
For instance, or shit like that.
Well, I
but-
found a guy who was turned to stone.
Yeah, I've seen a few stone
Oh, I haven't
people.
seen any stone people yet.
Yeah.
That's
No?
interesting.
There's a lot
Yeah.
There's quite a few
of
of them.
stone people. Like,
Wow.
And they're caught in, like, mid-action.
Yeah.
Like, there's this one part you mentioned that... Because you raise a laser, that's one of the first parts.
That seems like you.
And that shoots it to a mountaintop, and I followed it to a mountaintop, and on top of this mountaintop, there's a lot of, like, these figures happening.
Oh, really?
Which infers, yeah, something's
Interesting.
going on. So again, like...
that makes me think there totally is some narrative here.
yeah.
But like a lot of the stuff in this game, it probably won't make sense until way down the road. Way down the road.
I feel it's, like, something that you have to kind of, like, infer a lot into. And it's not actually going to tell you. It's just a
Probably
thing
not.
where,
Probably not.
yeah.
So I think I'm getting ready to go into the last area.
Wow.
You've activated all the lasers.
You
or
don't
what
need.
you-
I seem to be one laser short of what I need to activate
Okay.
to take the next big step in the story or in the game.
How
And
many hours are you in?
like probably close to 30.
Wow.
Fucker,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, like I've had a couple.
Hold on.
8-hour.
Let me just ask you this question. Is it because there's a lot to the game, or is it because some of the puzzles are taking you multiple hours to finish?
Little column A, little column B.
Okay.
Like I've gotten hung up on a puzzle for a couple hours.
What do you do in that at that point?
I
you
go
just
to do another puzzle,
Okay.
and then I come back. Because when I first started playing, you'll run into situations where you start running into these symbols that you've never seen before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have no idea how to make these work. But then a lot of times if you walk away, you'll eventually stumble across
A simpler version.
right
with those
where
symbols.
they obviously hope you find that symbol first, and then it will kind of teach you how to deal with that symbol.
Yeah.
And then you can go back to those puzzles and finish them. So
There was one of those right close to the beginning of the game where you're in the castle and you open the door after powering up those 4 panels, and then you open the door and then you follow the path. There's like a little hut kind of thing off the left-hand side that had one of those puzzles where it was like, okay, well, there's 3 symbols on this puzzle that I've never seen before, so guess I'm gonna move on.
I'm just gonna put my phone on silent before I'm the third one to go off here.
You guys just have to
It's Oliver and Brando
Not-
for the record.
find our
not be
find some
popular
respect.
and
Yeah, so I got hung up. Some of the biggest times I got hung up. One time, as a tip that I will give out, that I think is fair ground to give out, is always play with your sound on. Because,
yeah, Eads was saying the same thing, and as somebody who, whenever I play a video game, the only thing I'm listening to is video game sound.
Yeah.
So, like, no matter what game it is, the only thing I'm paying attention to is the game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how you guys can ever play a game without
just
sound.
especially with a puzzle game, it's like I'm just mashing out puzzles. I'm gonna have podcasts going and
I was
videos
thinking-
on my laptop and
I was thinking, yeah, you could totally like multitask this game and just have visuals, but you need sound.
Oh yeah.
I've run into a situation where I got really hung up because I was playing with the sound not off but too low to have the cues that I needed to have.
It with 99% of other games, I am just listening to the game. Like I'm playing and I am just doing the game. I don't have podcasts or anything. But for some reason, I thought I'm like, okay, you know, you see these panels and they give you the information that you need, and you just kind of got to puzzle your way through it. I can have the video on or whatever, you know, watching a league tournament or whatever. As soon as I had the same moment where you hit there's a puzzle that needs audio. And as soon as I had sort of figured out, like, okay, this game demands all your attention in a lot of ways, it leads you to discover some things about that game that are not readily apparent.
There's a lot going on in that game.
Yes.
There's some layers in that game.
Yes, the
which-
panels are just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys... I don't know how far you guys have been. I don't know what you've seen.
I'm very early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about an hour and a bit in, but I think I've got done a lot of puzzles for
Yeah.
the time that I've played.
It's not spoilery to say when there are these black stone. I've been calling them obelisks, but they're not. They're I don't know what they
Like
are.
towers. They're like
Six-sided or
little
whatever.
towers,
yeah,
yeah.
hexagonal,
They're just
whatever.
black totems.
Pillars.
Yeah, pillars.
Once you figure out how to light those up, it's this like aha. It's one of those moments where the game is
Just opens up.
obviously much more than it seems at
And
first glance.
it also, in my head, when I realized what I was doing to make those light up, I was like, oh god, this game is so much longer than I thought it was.
Yeah, it's a really good moment where you have all these pieces that you've been seeing and you're like, oh, there must be something with this, because it would be crazy to just throw all this stuff in here and have it do nothing, and then you figure it out, and it's great.
It's crazy.
That's when that game's at its best. It teaches you something. You take something away from it. I feel like I will think about problems differently in the future having played The Witness.
I won't. Unless
No?
they're on
Really?
like a little
Like, for
computer
real?
screen.
It's
It teaches you abstract thinking.
yes. in a lot of really good ways. And it looks so good.
It looks beautiful, especially when you get way up on those
I
mountains.
love that art style.
The first time I saw it, it was before I bought it, and I came over here to Eads' place and was watching him play for like 20 seconds before we were doing something else. And I took one look at it and said, man, this game looks like shit.
That's how I feel too. It's like,
It's an art style.
yeah, it's an art style for sure. I wouldn't call it like spectacular looking
Really?
like you guys.
But I mean, the thing is, the more I got into it and the more I played it, it grew on me. And now when I look at it, I'm like, yeah, it's actually pretty awesome.
I like the colors. It's super colorful. Like
Yeah.
walking through one of the forests and it's like very like autumny colors. I'm like, this is really nice looking.
That was actually the one part that pulled me into it,
Yeah.
because for the first, I'm like, yeah, you know, it's they're using really pastel-y colors and just making it pop a lot. And then I walked into that forest area with the tree puzzle, and I was looking around, looking at the leaves, and I'm like,
the
the
cherry
shadows,
blossoms.
yeah.
and I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, it sold me on it right
It's
there.
so good.
I love like running to the top of the mountain and being able to tell where everything is just by how colorful it is. Like, oh, that's the forest, that's the canyon, that's
Yeah.
the like you can so easily tell where it kind of fades into the next area.
It's a fun, like it's a very relaxing place to. It's a relaxing space to be in.
Yeah.
And I think that if it didn't have that really bright and unoffensive kind of palette to it, you would be getting frustrated at the puzzles. You would be getting frustrated at the environment,
I
which
agree.
would just be bleak and boring and stark. I think it's totally. I think this game would have missed if it maybe looked different than it does.
Yeah, I think it's totally a psychological way to look at it, right? Because this game, and I mean, it's a puzzle game at its core, but it seems to me and I'm only an hour and a half in, but it seems like there's going to be a lot more going on. And the fact that, sure, you're going to get frustrated at these puzzles, but walking to the next puzzle, just looking at the scenery kind of perks you up a little bit. Like, you're like, oh, I didn't get that one, but blah. And then you're all angry, and then 2 seconds later, you're like, oh, wow.
Well, yeah, and you're walking
those
through
sweet
a serene
clouds.
forest
Yeah.
beside a babbling brook. Oh, I really dig it.
So okay, Matt, when we started talking about this when I first got here, you're like, Oliver, you're gonna get hung up on a puzzle and you're gonna give up. Which is 100%.
Brando and I talked about this Saturday night, where I had this grand prediction of
Yeah.
Brando and I will finish it. Kevin will be able to solve the puzzles but lose interest. You will not be able to solve the
No,
puzzles.
I probably won't.
No, you can, though. You totally can. Anybody can.
It is.
But I do not want to bang my head against this game.
And see, I don't know. You say everybody can, but I really don't think that's
I think
true.
everybody can. It's not the kind of thing where it's like you don't possess the math skills to get through a problem. It's not the kind of thing where you don't have the reflexes to solve a puzzle.
Some of those, like, even in the first zone, the little maze puzzles, some people just straight up can't do those. Their mind cannot see the way through the maze.
I think
As somebody who can solve those puzzles in less than 2 seconds, like, I don't understand how that people can't, but no, it's very true that some people
Yeah.
cannot solve puzzles
sure,
like that.
but I mean, like, you know, I don't want to call it deficiencies. Like, if you have a thing where you can't do a thing, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you call that other than like, oh,
Yeah,
I can't,
let's
you know, I have no
use that.
spatial awareness or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't walk backwards.
Color
Stuff like,
blindness.
sure. That aside, I think that all of us can solve these puzzles.
'Kay.
Joe Average can solve all these puzzles.
Okay, and Brandon, you mentioned how if you can't solve anything, you will just wander off and look for something else. Like
Yeah.
that overwhelms me because
Yeah,
I did
well-
that too. The one puzzle I was explaining to you guys where I thought I needed more power, and I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna get more power?
I love how we all did the same thing on that puzzle.
I
before we
walked
figured-
off.
Not you.
I walked off, and then then I started like exploring, and I found this wrecked ship or whatever, and I found this castle, and even this one thing where instead of like guiding the cursor on the screens, I'm actually walking through and doing the like stepping on these things.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and I was able to solve one, but I'm like, fuck, that is hard. Anyways, it's too overwhelming for me. Like, I feel like,
It's the complete lack of direction, right?
yeah.
They give you an open world,
and I've
but
mentioned this.
there's nowhere to really start.
On with the lack of direction thing on PC, when you boot this game, there's no start screen. There's no
Same with
No,
console.
It's
Same
so
with
great. It
PlayStation.
just
Yeah.
it just throws you in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You walk up to that first puzzle. Right
There's a
from where
brief
you're
thing
standing,
that
yeah.
says the witness, and then you're immediately in the
It's
tunnel.
so amazing. I was so shocked by that.
And I've mentioned this before, where I need games to hold my hand now.
This game, The Witness will make you a better person.
I don't.
It will.
Need
It
games
will.
to make me a
And
better person.
it didn't kind of hold your hand a little bit. You just got to go find to where it holds your hand.
Yeah, it is instructive in its own way.
I will try at it more,
Like those.
but it is very
Abstract.
in danger of me being I'm spent 10 minutes on this puzzle. I can't solve it. I'm not gonna solve it.
There's one thing that kind of frustrates me about it.
10 minutes, huh? That's, oh boy.
Oh, this is trash.
Yeah, can you get your money back still?
The one thing that kind of frustrates me is there was one puzzle right near the beginning of the game where it's a series of 8 panels in a row right by a whole bunch of trees. And I solved all of them, and it looked like nothing happened. It seems to me like there's going to be a bunch of puzzles that you'll finish them and they'll do something, but you'll have no idea what it is. And then you'll wander around to another spot in the game that should be locked off, but it isn't, but you'll have no idea why it's not locked off.
Every time I've had something like that happen, they've been
Tutorial
well,
puzzles?
sort of. You'll do the panel and then you won't know, the wire just goes into the ground or whatever.
Well, no,
all the panels have
there's
connecting
straight
wires.
up no wires in this one.
Okay.
The
think
one
those
you're
are just
talking
teaching
about,
you.
I feel, was a tutorial.
You might
Yeah.
have activated a collectible in the world,
Yeah.
or who knows what else.
I found on one place, I think I can say this, I found a piece of paper that was just straight up telling me how to solve a puzzle, but the puzzle was nowhere around.
Really?
So I took a picture of it and I was like, well,
Interesting.
I'll see. And it's a certain shape, so I'm hoping when I see it, I'll be like, oh shit, maybe this is the thing.
Like a path.
Yeah.
I have a
Okay.
feeling that this game will be one of the only games that I will ever take notes during.
Yeah. Have you guys been taking notes?
I've been taking a lot of pictures.
Yeah, I haven't been, but there are some cases where it wants you to, you'll have to say turn around and see
Yeah.
the solution behind you, and then turn back around and remember it.
Yeah.
For those ones, I probably should snap a picture because I'll
that
fuck those
legit?
up. 20
Oh, yeah,
times. I'll
totally.
fuck those up.
Short-term memory, no
I think
good.
Around, turn. Okay, was it
There's a specific puzzle in that game where I don't think you could solve it without taking pictures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know
We have a
about that.
pact too. We're not going to look up any guides.
Or drawing it.
We can ask each other. I think
They-
that's probably fine. But that's great. We'll check back in from time to time on the Witness. Next, when you guys get the assault rifle, let me know and we'll talk about it again. or when you fight the ice wizard too. That part's pretty
get
cool.
that skateboard to move
Yeah.
faster.
There's a run button. I don't know if that's
Yeah, no, that was in the tutorial.
Okay.
I was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
angry
that.
because I'm like, there's got to be a run button. Then you finally get out, and it's like,
I don't like how you can't fall off ledges and stuff because I'll be like,
Yeah,
I'll run up to a thing and I'll be doing this and then some will open down there and I'll be just trying to jump off the ledge to it and I was like, I gotta go all the way around the mountain.
yeah. The first
and-
time I found out that you couldn't fall off ledges was both oh, this is really good,
Yeah.
because I was at a point where if I fell off, I probably would have died,
Right.
And then once you realize that you can't fall off ledges, it's like, wait a minute, that's actually kind of shitty.
Yeah, kind of wish I could just drop right down there,
Yeah.
but
What else you get up to, Oliver? Anything?
That was about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, those 3 games.
Let's bounce on over to. Let's do Kevin because I know Brando and I got a lot to say.
Why?
oh jeez.
Hey, we just.
Oh, yeah, you
Things are
guys-
moving, shaking.
You guys
We got
had a
hot
little-
opinions.
Ooh, I gotcha.
Hot opinions.
So this wasn't really a this week kind of a game. This was a last week kind of a game.
Sure.
Because
Was it
as we all
Tharsis?
know, my attention span is 1 week at a time.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I can give you a little update on Tharsis.
That's why I came here.
I hit 50% win rate
Wow.
Oh wow. That's-
yesterday or the day before.
You should you know how all the pro StarCraft, Pro League, Pro Dota, those streamers are the ones who get a lot of views for being.
Oh yeah, you think I should stream
yeah,
Tharsis?
I think you might be the best Tharsis player in the world.
I actually looked at global scores for high score for normal mode, which is what I'm still on. And my score is 1753, which is pretty damn high, let me tell you. And
I believe it.
The world leader is 1871.
That's
I
pretty high
have
too.
I have no sense of scale. What is that 100-point difference? Is that lots or?
No, it's
Are you saying
it is.
you're very
it's
close
lots.
to the top?
Well,
Or are
I'm
you
probably I would not doubt it if my score was in the top 5 percentile. Maybe
That makes sense
Maybe
for the
10
50% because I
percentile.
heard that game's super tough to finish. So
Yeah.
But No, the difference between his score and my score is astronomical.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I see.
Maybe he's cheating.
Nah,
It's another thing
no.
where, like, in a game that does have such a high chance element to it, if enough people are playing that game, eventually one dude is just going to have the
and see
dice
that's
luck of all.
that's what I thought too, but the guy who's number 1 in normal is also number 1 in hard.
Oh,
So props
he's
to
super.
him.
He's super lucky on all difficulties.
Nothing to do with luck in that game. No luck whatsoever. But no, I played Diablo Season 5 started up
Yeah.
on last Friday.
They have breathed so much life into a game that came out to a very cool reception. When
Yes.
Diablo 3 first came out, it was not disliked, but it was not.
I mean, it was nothing special.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
wasn't-
people weren't crazy about it like they are now.
Yeah. It's like they made a lot of changes, and I know we're not going to touch on a lot of it, but one of the changes that they made that is amazing from a player standpoint is they give everyone who plays this season a free set, essentially. So you have a 6-piece set for every class that you get just for playing the game, essentially. You get your first 2 pieces when you hit 70. They just mail them to you. You can open it up on one character that you choose. If you have 4 level 70s, you pick one class, open it up, get 2 free set pieces. Then you finish another objective, you get 2 more set pieces. Finish another objective, you get your last 2 pieces. I think this is really, really good because as someone who has played every season so far, the only season that I played a lot of was Season 2, when I just happened to get all 4 of my set pieces for my class in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
And the amount that your player is able to do based on actually having a set piece just gets you gear that much faster, gets you levels that much faster. It actually makes you think you're progressing.
Yeah, they took that first good chunk of the ramp and they basically got rid of it. They basically got
exactly.
rid of leveling. They basically took out the part where you
You're
are
grinding
max
for
level,
gear.
but yeah, you don't have the gear to do the fun stuff yet. They got rid of that. Like I went in there, brand new character, new season character, and within under 10 minutes I was already max level. And in another 10 minutes I had all 6 of those set pieces, and in another 10 minutes I was on the second from the top difficulty down, and they really sped it up. And it's great. It's better than it's ever been. Like leveling up in 10 minutes, you level up so fast that whenever you level, the HUD pops up and says like, level 2, you gained this ability and this ability and this ability. And every time you level, it shows you your new abilities. You level up so fast that HUD is still popping stuff up for like, I don't know, 25, 26 minutes after you're done leveling.
When,
it's just cycling through it.
And that's good?
Yeah.
Well, it's
like-
funny. It's
Like having done that 0 to 70 at least 5 times, because it's been 5 seasons, probably more like 10 or 15 times. Just fucking get rid of it, man. Take it out of there.
Well, they can't get rid of it altogether because
Well, it's still
leveling up is what teaches you how to play your class.
you can go in and play that same ramp like it used to be if you want.
And I'm sure a lot of people do, and everybody has to at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
The only reason you and I didn't have to is because we had a friend who played a whole lot more than we did and just power leveled us.
Yeah, they brought rushing back to the game, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, sure. I think the Chinese gold farmers now only charge 50 cents an hour for power leveling because it's so fast.
Yeah, useless. They took some of the console stuff too and brought it into the PC version. Things where in the console you were kind of getting bonuses for chaining kills together. You were comboing.
Oh, yeah.
They brought that system over, which is really fun.
I didn't know that wasn't in there.
Yeah,
Because I've only played the console version, so.
we still don't have the role. Every character in Diablo 3 on console has a role.
Yeah, it's great. I
It
don't know how you
looks
play without
great.
it.
What do you mean? Like a vault?
like a dodge.
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
like a
okay.
vault. Every character has one. Just resource free. Tap that stick and they vault.
How the
That's
fuck would you
kinda
play with?
stupid.
How the fuck would you play on console without it though?
I
Like I can't click where I want to go.
guess,
So-
but like you're not.
I got to be able to dodge people.
Yeah, it's not that high precision. Maybe it is. The way I play is like hold down the spell button and watch everything die. and then kind of move to the next room and do the same thing.
Yeah, as a,
That sounds like the worst game.
No, it's so
Like,
fun. It's so fun.
as a class that has 120 million toughness, all I have to do is move into a group of mobs and stand there, and they will kill themselves.
It's so fun. You are so powerful, and you are like calling
That's
down
not
the
fun to
biggest
me.
tornadoes, and you are killing just a million guys, and their parts are flying everywhere. It's so good. Also, you're getting items. Colors are showing up on the screen every time one drops. Oh, it's so great.
I don't
I don't get
understand this
that. I
game
can't- yeah.
anymore,
The
you guys.
number gets higher, and the numbers get
Yeah.
higher.
The numbers get higher.
I
Who
get.
cares?
I don't get that actually. Like,
Brandon, the higher your numbers get, the higher numbers you can do.
and this
Yeah.
goes. This goes back to when me and Eric played with you guys, and me and Eric are just lollygagging, trying to enjoy the fucking game and reading item descriptions, and you guys are fucking just zooming, just
We're
killing
like
everybody.
6 zones ahead of them
Yeah.
and 40 levels higher because they're missing all the X.
Fresh X. Diablo's great. Continues
No,
to be.
It's really good. I had a great moment this season where I got the best in slot loot one-handed weapon for my class, and it wasn't ancient.
Oh,
wasn't
what are you
ancient.
doing? Get rid of that piece of shit.
So I got really sad and figured, I'm gonna do the legendary reforge that you can do in the cube. So you go around, you collect a bunch of ingredients, you throw this item in the cube, and it re-rolls the same item as if it were a fresh legendary.
Yeah, you get another shot.
Yeah,
at
you get
all
another
the
shot
stats
at
and
it.
everything.
So re-rolled that, and for the second season in a row, immediately rolled it into ancient.
Yeah.
For the best in slot weapon.
I found 2 ancients already.
Yeah, I did it on my demon hunter last season. Rolled it into an ancient right away, and then I did it on Crusader
Luckiest
this season.
guy in North
I know,
America.
I'm saying.
Tharsis champ, rerolls his ancients, first try.
Yeah, I think I'm only 6 of 14 ancients right now, but I have 12 of 14 best in slot gear already. Yeah,
It's pretty much done. Season 5.
pretty
almost
much
wrapped.
done. Yeah.
I played Diablo on consoles. I think I got to level like 55 and had a lot of fun with it, and
Yeah.
then just stopped and never picked it up again.
That's one way to
Because
play,
I beat
guess.
the story, and I was like, oh, what am I gonna go do? Just go back and level up and
I
do
don't know.
the same stuff?
I think the problem with playing console is Diablo is very much a game where it's 10 times more fun to play with your friends.
Yeah,
And
probably.
it's like the ultimate game to have videos up on the other screen or
Yeah,
something.
that's true. You definitely don't have to pay attention to
no,
Diablo.
barely.
good game. Okay, good games you should pay attention to though.
It's
Coming from guys who didn't have the sound on when they were playing The Witness.
It was just
I spend
really
a lot
low.
of time thinking about it, and it sort of makes me sick. But Diablo is very much like those clickers that you don't even play. Those ones where you
Oh yeah.
I don't even know what you call them. Those iOS games.
The
like
way I
Clicker Heroes
see
and
the way I see Diablo is it's like
I mean, it is that. It is that.
It's a little more involved, right?
It is 100% that. In time clickers, you are clicking cubes to shoot them. In Diablo, you are clicking enemies to kill them.
But you have to like move around to find more.
It's barely.
no, I see it as like World of Warcraft, except you're getting loot all the time as opposed to once every 3 weeks.
Sure. It's really it's fantastic. Diablo's great. I hope they do another expansion. I want another character.
I heard that they were thinking about doing it, but everyone's on the forums, Reddit forums on Diablo, is saying that because of all these changes that they made this season, it's kind of pointing to the fact that they're not going to do another expansion because they're trying to streamline everything now as opposed to waiting for an expansion to
They
do
should
it.
just release a DLC. You know what? I'd pay $20 for another character. For sure.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would.
Absolutely. But Druid's the next one up. Bring the Druid back.
Necromancer.
Yeah, the Witch Doctor kind of is the Necromancer.
I guess, yeah.
Summon skeletons.
Yeah,
Right?
okay.
You got up to anything else?
Stop.
Oh.
Question
Stop.
about. I was just looking for a place to jump in. Question about Diablo.
Just put your hand in the air like we do in this podcast.
Like we just don't care.
Yeah.
Without the leveling, without the story, without like you're pressing
sounds
the
great.
fucking spell button
Yeah.
just to make everything explode.
Yeah.
And things are flashing, numbers are getting higher.
Oh yeah, they are.
Is it just about the loot grind now? Like, is
Yep.
that
It is, yeah.
Yep.
like what?
There are
At what like?
Well,
nothing's
hold on,
nothing's
it's-
stopping you. You said you're like 12,000 toughness or whatever.
It's about the loot grind, but the reason you do the loot grind is so you can do the ladder system. And the ladder system is, they call them greater rifts, and most people play them solo because solo Greater Rift is like the benchmark of how good you are at playing the game, or at least your class. And some people farm nonstop just so they can hit number 1 on the Greater Rift ladders.
It's like it gets infinitely hard. I don't know if it's infinite, but it
Exponentially hard.
yeah, it can get as hard as you want to make it. So there's always another tier for you to get to if you can get the numbers high enough.
Or the
And this is just
skill or
playing the
strategy.
game still?
Yeah.
To a point, there's a point where your gear will no longer help you anymore, and sure, bigger numbers are going to be good, but you're going to have strategy, and you're going to have the skill to know how to beat certain mobs, how to avoid certain mobs.
I've never gotten to the gear cap. I've never gotten within 1% of the gear cap.
So there is a point where this game
yes.
becomes challenging to
Yes.
you.
Well, the where it becomes challenging for each individual person is based on how much time they put into it. So a casual player who just hit level 70 could have a hell of a time in Torment 1, whereas Matter-Eye will have no challenge whatsoever in Torment 10.
Like, what is we get into this question of what is difficulty, what is challenge, what does that mean? Like, are you
Is it
dying to get the numbers higher? Yeah, it gets hard.
I guess
but to stay alive, it's not that hard.
The bigger question is are you playing the game because you want a hard game, or are you playing a game because you're having fun playing it? It's like Life is Strange. None of us can argue that was a hard game.
I had a lot of trouble getting past the principal.
Single one of us can argue.
I had to pick whether to kiss or not kiss Chloe. That was hard.
But you see where I'm coming from, right?
Yeah.
Difficulty should not ever be a factor onto how good a game is.
No, and that's not
And
what
it's
I'm trying.
subjective as
Yes,
well.
it's
That's
very
not what I'm
subjective.
trying to make a point out of here. It's just I don't understand this game anymore. This game has transcended.
The way, and it probably is fun. The way you guys describe it
Yes.
does not sound fun.
This
where
it's
it's like I just gotta walk in, they kill themselves.
This game is
They
totally
pretty much do. They pretty much do, and it's so good. But
it's just transcended what I know of Diablo.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
just
not
like-
about the story.
No,
it's
it's
not.
not.
About
I mean,
anything.
Diablo
It's-
has never been about the story.
To me, it has.
I mean,
Sure.
Diablo 1 and 2 were.
There were those,
and then they
Diablo
released
2
the Diablo
really
2
wasn't.
expansion, and that's when it got all crazy.
There were like these weird people who would play through the game once on normal and then finish and
That
be
was
at like
me.
level 30, and you're like, weird. They're missing
my
like
hand
all
up.
this stuff. They're not doing Pindle runs, nothing. What?
Did you guys know there's a
Weirdos.
cow level?
I knew
I
there was a
heard
cow
about
level.
this cow level. Yeah.
Okay, well, so be it.
Yeah.
Like Diablo
It's never
has
been
left
about that
me
for you,
behind.
right? It's the endorphin release of getting new loot.
Yeah,
and,
that's
and,
all what
and
it is.
seeing like this is better than this, and just
But the
that
Oh, I got
over
that.
and over and over
It's
and
just
over.
I had to read through every fucking torn leather boots
Well, see,
description.
and that's why they have the improved system where it just, if it's better than you, it's got a green number. If it's worse, it's got a red number.
And obviously, like, I played and loved Destiny, which is a much simpler loot system, but Destiny was always hard when
Yeah.
I was trying to get that loot.
You can make this hard for yourself if you wanted to, but the common style of play is do it on something you can do very quickly because you have, say a 10% chance of finding a loot, but you can do it
So why would
20
they,
times as fast.
Why wouldn't they make it like an equal? Like, why wouldn't they reward you for playing it on harder by giving you better loot?
Oh, they,
They
do.
do.
So why don't you do that?
Because you want to keep
You want to keep the
volume.
speed.
Yeah, volume comes before
Then that seems like
chance
something
at a
they need to
certain point.
tweak.
It's all about the LPM.
That's always been Diablo, though. Diablo's
Legendaries per
always
minute.
been about
So
runs and boss runs and going to a guy,
Just-
killing him. That's what it's been since two.
it seems weird that they would be like, well, we got these harder levels, but we know what you really want is easy gameplay where you can get more stuff.
You do it to yourself. You turn it to easy.
Well, yeah, they kind of tried to do more hard stuff when they released the Uber bosses back in the day. I don't remember when it was, but
It was like season 1 or something.
it definitely wasn't with the release, and it wasn't with the expansion.
They're still in there.
Yeah, they're still in there. But I mean, the whole thing was, it's like, okay, well,
Those are hard.
You farm these keys, and you get this loot, and then you go and fight 2 bosses at once instead of just 1 boss. Ooh.
You should get some dope ass shit for doing that.
You get a
You
chance.
get a chance at dope ass shit.
Well, you
Unless you play on the highest difficulty, and then you get a guarantee at dope ass shit.
So that's what you should be doing.
So that's what you do.
We're working our way up to
you,
that.
you farm speed farming so you can get to the point where you can get everything you want.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
My favorite moment of Diablo was always playing with like 3 other dudes. Is it always 4 people?
Yep.
Yeah, 3 other dudes coming up against the butcher. One dying.
What if I told you that
And then just fucking spamming TP in the chat.
Butcher's back?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the coolest bosses.
Yep. And he's a character in Heroes of the Storm.
Cool.
Heroes of the Storm is cool. You should play Heroes of the Storm.
Heroes of the Storm is not cool.
What else you get up to, Kev? Anything you want to bring in here? We're all good on Diablo?
Yeah, we're all good on Diablo. I spent pretty much all weekend painting my basement.
Awesome.
That was super not awesome.
Happy little trees.
you get drunk?
In the...
No, not even.
Why not?
Because, I mean, I had a couple beers, but not drunk. Like,
Still got a job to do at the end of the day. That basement's got to get painted.
you know, when your dad phones you at 10:30 on a Saturday morning and says, "Good, you're home. I'll be there in 5 seconds." And then you have to put pants on.
You can only scrounge up like 2 beers.
Put them, hide them in your pockets before you start.
Is the basement complete?
No. It's
are we
getting
gonna have
there.
a party when it is?
Absolutely.
A re-housewarming?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Paint usually is the last step.
Well, no, paint is like there's got to be like 15 more steps because we're doing paint before we have floors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This basement has been under construction since before we started this podcast.
Yes.
And the podcast we did before it.
No, it was during.
No, it's during that.
It was during that
All
one.
right, like
Come
the
on.
second episode of the Manatang
We
podcast.
are
he started
on
doing
month
the basement.
22 of the renovation right now.
Wow,
That's a long one.
Yes.
Brando, what did you get up to?
We
You and I went out for Warren Barris's birthday.
did. You want
Host
to
of
talk
the
about
Sat
that?
Pod. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that's the Sat Pod's a wrestling podcast.
Yep.
You should listen to it.
Yeah, we talked about the Royal Rumble last week.
Satpod.podbean.com.
Yep. I came 3rd in the Royal Rumble pool. I believe.
Of how many?
Like 15.
Oh, that's not bad.
16, yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, how does the Royal Rumble pool work?
We assign points for people. You get if you pick number 30, who comes in 30, you get a certain amount of points. If you pick the winner, you get a certain amount of points. Final 4.
Okay.
First person to point at the WrestleMania sign.
Like first wrestler or
Yeah.
first person in the
First wrestler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was the,
we don't
the
know
first
all, we
guy
don't know
who
all the
came down
names of the
aisle.
guys in the crowd.
Well, no, I thought first person watching as soon as it
Oh, I
comes
see.
because we played a drinking game that night. You guys ever played the Planet Earth, the BBC special Planet Earth drinking game?
No.
Well, one of the rules of it is, and there's a lot. Anytime you see a waterfall, the first person to say waterfall gets to start drinking. Yeah, start the waterfall.
Start the waterfall.
Yeah, I
Crazy.
totally thought this was that. Of I see the sign.
On a
That's the
side
point.
note, did you guys hear that there's a petition going around to get Snoop to narrate season 2 of Planet Earth?
Planet Earth.
Yeah, because I guess they're filming season 2 right now for the BBC.
We should kickstart that.
And,
I bet we could make it happen.
No, there's already like
People
Yeah,
are
2
doing the
million
work, Matt.
people on this.
There are
this-
clips of him already
mean-
narrating like other like nature things.
Well, no, he
which
does-
Well, no,
are
he does
hilarious.
Planet Earth
Yeah.
for
Kimmel.
Is it Kimmel?
Yeah, it's a bit
Oh.
on Kimmel.
Oh,
and
I
it's
see.
fucking hilarious.
funny.
But 2 million signatures, whatever. If we could get some fucking cash together, yo, Snoop, we got this. I don't know, 50 grand. You know,
I don't think
it's
it's up to
something.
Snoop.
Something tells
It's
me
something.
Snoop doesn't do
Not
no
up to
50 grand.
It's American dollars, Snoop. It's not like it's Canadian.
Snoop would be like, I smoke 50 grand worth of marijuana in a day.
Yeah, here's a day's worth of weed, Snoop. Come on,
For what is probably a day's worth of work.
come on, nephew.
Okay. Not to drag out the wrestling talk, but one more question on this
Okay.
wrestling or Royal Rumble pool.
Yep.
You guys obviously know what's going to happen. Well, there's
No one knows
ideas.
what's going to happen.
It's all speculation.
You always think you know.
Okay.
And then you go in and get one match right out of 7.
hope to be surprised.
So how does that tilt like this pool?
We
'Cause
award
obviously
more points for things that are harder to guess.
Like fucking surprise entrant Papa Shango is not gonna win.
Right. But if you guessed Papa Shango for your surprise entrant, you get some good points.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Is he dead?
So who was
Yeah,
That would be surprising.
who was the surprise entrant this year? Was it Chris Jericho or was that planned?
AJ Styles was surprise wrestler. He was like the big face of TNA. He's the guy I was talking to
Yep.
on the last podcast coming over from Japan. And
Was that his debut?
Yep. Yeah, came in as number 3.
Oh,
Yeah. Who else was a surprise? Sami Zayn from NXT. You probably don't know him.
nope.
Anyway, no good old legends.
No, that's
No.
too bad.
Yeah.
Detailed breakdown on the Sat Pod.
Yes. It's already up there.
Cool.
Triple H though.
Triple H won. It is 1999 again.
That's crazy.
How's
Like,
his hair?
was this a thing that
Short.
like?
Oh, fuck this.
Shaved to the wood.
Forget it.
Was this a thing where it's like,
I'm
oh,
out.
Triple H?
This wrestling talk stops
But-
now.
No, I know.
Now that
We
Triple
got-
H's head is shaved, fuck this.
There's a lot of people who would be unhappy about Triple H winning because he's kind of feels like he's putting himself in because he's in charge. So it kind
Yeah.
of feels like he's being like, oh, I'll win the belt. At the same time, it felt like the smartest decision going in, and I'm glad they did it.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing as back when Vince was the leader, right?
Yeah, totally.
It's like you need to have the biggest heel as the leader of the corporation.
Triple H gets you ratings too.
Yeah, that's right.
Because all
Triple
the
H is
old
cool. I've
wrestling fans
always
come back.
been behind Triple H.
I loved him in Blade 3.
Yeah, he was great.
He
in
was
that.
good. In Blade 3, he fought Ryan Reynolds.
I brought up Warren's birthday
Yes.
because we went out drinking, boozing as you do.
Yep.
And I just want to bring up one thing that happened. I honestly don't remember most of it.
No, me neither. And I don't know what you're going to bring up.
You had just gotten there.
Okay.
Somebody was putting. There's a drink called the Boilermaker, which is like, I don't know, a quarter pitcher of beer,
And a shot of rye.
2 shots.
It's a
Well, I
drop
mean,
shot.
You can
into
have
the-
a double Boilermaker.
No,
I
it's-
guess.
No, it's a shot glass into a highball glass into a Boilermaker. I don't really know what.
No,
the
it's
hell
just
I think it's Jaeger or
it's
something. Isn't it?
straight up.
Beer.
It should just be a shot of rye with a pint of beer.
Well, these ones were not.
These
that.
ones were significantly bigger than that.
Yes.
That is a lot of like liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was half a pitcher.
Yeah,
which
not a full pitcher.
Yeah.
But anyway, somebody was bringing them around the table, and I had thought you were buying them for because Warren and I are all like really close, and there were
Right.
3. So I thought that you had bought one for Warren because it was his birthday, and
Yeah.
because I was right there, I just happened to get lumped in.
Right.
You had thought I was buying one for Warren, and because you were there, you would just happen to get lumped in. Warren wasn't buying anybody anything because it was his birthday.
Yeah.
And there was this real long, like, us
Everyone's
sighing,
looking at these
like,
drinks.
wiping the sweat off our heads. Nobody wants to do it, but we're all ready to
They're
because we
like
think someone
$28
bought them.
each.
So did you find out who bought them?
I have no idea.
I think some people like across the table were like, "Oh, those are ours," and we're like, "Okay, good."
I didn't
Where'd
end
you-
up drinking any of them.
where'd
Thank
you guys go?
God. Average shows. AJ's.
Oh yeah.
Here in the park. That place is bumping. Like, that,
Yeah.
that place was full of, like,
Why? What?
young,
Yeah.
attractive
What?
people. It was
AJ 's
packed.
good.
This is great.
Well, no.
yeah.
I'm just more confused as to the fact that you and Warren live on the far west side of
Oh,
town.
yeah.
Oh yeah, don't get me started on
And
that.
he decided for his birthday to go one town over.
It's where all his friends live.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
It's like
okay.
a
old
city
stomping
over
ground.
and then a town over.
Yeah.
Plus,
Yeah.
he has a crash point there too, because
So do you,
his
though,
parent-
right?
Yeah, but I didn't use it.
Oh.
I cabbed all the way home.
Cab?
So another thing I want to talk about.
Yeah, Ubers.
Come on.
Ubers don't come to Sherwood Park.
That's
Yeah,
not
they-
true.
That's not
They totally
true.
do.
Really? They
Yeah.
didn't last time I tried.
and it's not legal to use an Uber until March 1st.
That's true.
What?
Yeah.
You sent a picture the day after of your cab
My
bill.
expenses.
$73.50 for a cab bill.
Yeah, that was my fault.
Why
kind
was
of,
it
too.
so much?
It's a
Because-
cab.
No.
Well, no.
No.
Me and the cab driver were having all sorts of heart-to-heart talks. So eventually we got to the point where we were getting close to my house. I was like, you know what? We should just pull into this McDonald's, get some food, and just eat it together. So that ran up another $20 on
Left
the
the
bill.
meter
and then-
running. Oh, so great.
Man, that cabbie was like, "This is the greatest fare
Best night
ever."
This is a good
I
guy.
aim to please.
Did you pay for the food?
I don't remember.
So
I
yes,
would
you
say
did.
probably.
Okay. Uber? What? What's this?
Well,
You'd be
because
fine taking it, but it's
the-
not technically legal until...
Well, no, I mean, I don't know if they find the passenger, but it's still technically illegal until March 1st when the insurance regulations get cleared.
You can get a ticket for riding in an unlicensed taxi.
I don't know if you can get a ticket as the passenger. I know you can definitely get a ticket as the driver.
We always used to, not always, sometimes we get rides back from White Ave, just some kind of van and be like, oh, $20 to get you guys back to Sherwood Park.
Yeah, I've done
Awesome
that for
deal.
sure.
But we always
Just
used
some
to
random dude?
Yeah. But we always used to like have him drop us off a block away
And
and
then
then
dip?
walk back.
Totally.
Like walk to the house because we were like, oh man, the cops are going to give us a ticket. So yeah.
I thought you just didn't want to know where this crazy man was
Also, we
sleeping.
didn't want this psycho to know where we lived.
I thought you guys like asked for a block back, and then you got out of the van and like jumped a fence and just
Yeah,
dipped
like,
on your $20.
Okay, man, here's your
Van
$20.
ride.
Book it. You guys ever dipped out on a cab before?
Yes.
No.
And I actually did exactly what I just said.
Yeah.
Ran.
Well, that's how you do, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we got
Threw
him.
sand in his face.
We
and
got him to
gone.
drop us off at the
fire,
TD Canada trucks on Y. Because we're like, oh, we need to get some cash.
me just get
And
that
then
out
we
of
ran
my
around the
wallet.
building and jumped the fence. And there's like that big like open area
Yeah.
in behind.
That's kind of shitty of you.
Yeah,
Also,
well, we were
cabs
kids.
are super shitty, so whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never dipped out on a cab, but I've dipped out on restaurant bill before.
That's
We
bad.
went to hear
it's
the
a
story
server.
before you hear the
If
story
you were a
before.
cab driver, you would have been fine with this.
So we went to Boston Pizza on Bourbon Street in West Ed. This was years ago.
Yeah, that's
because I don't even know if there's still
Oh,
a
there
Boston
is Steve.
Pizza
Yeah,
there.
there's-
Yeah.
And it was probably 4 p.m. kind of thing. And we sat in the lounge. There was no bartender on staff. There was one waitress who wasn't the lounge waitress. She was the restaurant waitress. So she brought us in, took our drinks, no big deal. Got our food order, no big deal. Brought us our food. That was the last we saw her.
Big deal.
She came back. We left an hour and 15 minutes after getting our food because it took us about 40 minutes to eat. And then we waited a half an hour for the waitress to show back up so we could ask for our bill. And then finally we're just like, well, you know what? Fuck it.
All right.
She's probably having the worst day ever.
Yeah.
First, that bartender motherfucker didn't show up.
Yep.
She's got to manage both sides.
We were the
Then these
only
guys
people. We were literally
ran
the
out on
only
their
people in the
$200
lounge.
bill.
We were the only people in the lounge.
Poor
And
girl.
and the kids
It probably wasn't even open yet.
She's
which
just
is
trying to
probably-
put herself through college.
the kids in the kitchen are just burning the shit out of everything. 'Cause
Yeah.
They're all goofing off. They're
know
all
what?
high.
And then you take it
High
out
the
on
pot
her.
anyways.
If she wants to work her way through college, maybe she should look into a career as a stripper.
That's true.
That worked for you.
You know it.
You play any games, Brando?
I did. I played a game called Oxenfree.
Oh,
Oh,
Ollie Ollie.
Ollie, no,
Oh,
Ollie,
no?
Ollie's skateboarding game. This is just Oxenfree.
Okay.
This
Can
is
I
a
interject real
Go.
quick?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Guys have started calling me Oxenfree at work. Because of
because
that.
Ollie Oxenfree.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I actually-
not because of the game.
And they shorten it down to Ox, and I'm like, that's fucking cool.
No, it's not.
Go ahead. Yeah, it is. I think it's
No,
fucking
it's
cool.
not. Isn't that the guy from American Pie?
Your name is already Oj.
I know.
Like it's not any shorter.
This is just like a name that I've avoided
Ox is pretty good.
in my youth, and like as an adult, I'm like, yeah.
Nobody
that's
called
cool.
you
Start
Ox when
calling
you
me-
were a kid.
What about-
No,
The
nobody did.
Ox.
That's why when in adult Oliver,
One guy did once.
I'm like, fuck, that's
So
cool.
you were never a nickname guy when you were younger. That's what
It's
you're
always
getting at.
Oj.
Yeah, he's like got one built in. He's got a
Swagger.
We had a
called me that.
hilarious talk at work about how the word swag does not mean what it used. So there's a term in electrical apparently where a light fixture can be swagged, and that's where
It's pronounced swedged.
SWAG.
Yep.
It hangs down.
Pronounced swedge.
And it has the hook in the ceiling.
Yep.
Weird. I've never heard it. I
never
only
heard
saw it
that
written
either.
on and I was like, oh, weird swag. Okay. And then we had this big long talk about how dumb the word swag is, and like what only tools say it.
That's why I tried to distance myself from it.
The whole time I was like, guy on the pond named Swag.
That's why I tried to distance myself from it.
Swagger Aguilar just rolled off the tongue.
I know
though.
it's so good. You should own it now. Now that it's not mainstream, like fuck
Yeah,
it.
flip it back.
Somebody already signed up for it.
Ox.
The Ox.
The Ox.
Oh, X underscore X underscore.
What is Oxenfree?
Oxenfree.
It's weird. I've never really played anything like it. It is a kind of a storyline wise, maybe a little bit of Until Dawn, where you're a bunch of teens on an island and spooky shit's going on,
Okay.
and it's kind of counting down the hours until dawn.
Right.
There's the potential for death for some or most of your people. This is a little more not violent, grotesque beheadings and stuff, although there are some weird moments like that. It's more like poltergeisty.
Okay.
Like TVs flashing on and off, and
Yeah.
light bulbs breaking. And
I heard there might be some sci-fi shit going on.
There might be, yeah. So the big mechanic is you have a radio that you walk around and you can tune into frequencies to kind of solve puzzles and stuff. None of the puzzles are hard.
Well, yeah, you just look at the back of the box, and so Meryl's
Yeah.
frequency. Okay,
Absolutely.
here I got it.
Yeah. But the best part about that game is kind of the dialogue. You walk around a lot in that game, kind of moving to the next area, and the whole time you're walking, there's VO just playing because it never gets tight on the faces. It's always like a pretty wide shot.
Okay.
And there's the VO of the two people, and then just this tiny little speech balloon of different colors, like each color is assigned to a person, appears above their head, so you know who's talking.
Okay,
You couldn't
yeah.
tell just by the voice. And then while you're walking, these options are popping up over your head, dialogue options for you to just kind of keep the dialogue rolling and affect your relationships with people and stuff like that.
That sounds
I've never
really
heard of
interesting.
this.
Yeah, and it's cool because sometimes it breaks a little bit, but for the most part, it's like you're walking and they're being like, "Oh yeah, I heard old lady Marjorie died in this big volcano explosion of," and then you'll like hit something to cue some other thing, like, "Oh hey, look at this thing, this is neat," and then they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that is neat," and then as you start walking, they'll be like, "Anyway, like I was saying," and then go back into kind of where they were in the story. So it's kind of as well put together as they can do it and still give you the freedom to just interrupt their conversations rudely. But yeah, it's neat. I got through it. It's not very long. It's like probably 6 hours tops.
How much is it? This is a cheaper one, right?
Yeah, I want to say 20.
On is it on?
It's on Xbox.
You
That's
have it
all
on
I know.
Xbox?
Yeah.
Okay. It's on Steam as well.
Right. Yeah, it's really neat. And there's some paranormal shit going on. There's some what appeared to be it was one of those games that when it ended, I was like, I need to go back and kind of figure out what happened because there was some maybe time related shit
Oh yeah.
and there's some stuff going on.
That
At the
sounds-
same time, the ending was complicated enough that after it was done, I was like, well, that was pretty fun, but I have no idea what happened.
That's
Maybe-
interesting.
Yeah. I think it would be worth a play.
Yeah, it's like it's not 18-bit. But it's
No, it's
like
remember
pixelated,
Brothers?
right?
Yeah.
No.
Two
Is that
boys.
one stick?
Yeah.
One guy
Yeah,
each stick?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, yes, I
a
do.
little bit like that,
Okay.
but pulled out farther away from everyone.
That sounds cool. I might
Yeah.
actually check that out.
Yeah, it is pretty neat. The best part is the dialogue and
Yeah.
like having the conversations with people. The overlying story is kind of whatever, but there's some good, well-written, funny exchanges between people. And you have there was a few points, especially early on when I was kind of getting to know all the characters, where I would say something and they would react to it, and I would be like thinking about the other two options, being like, I bet those were really good too, and I'd want to go back and see what they were. Most of the choices don't you can obviously tell you're affecting their relationships or getting a little grumpy with you or happy with you, but it doesn't seem like there's very much clean cut. I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do if you say this person's going to kill themselves, and if there's not a lot of that where it's like
They will remember that.
right,
you know?
exactly. It's more like steering the correction to a more negative tone and more positive tone.
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it was neat.
Do you ever play or see The Gods Will Be Watching?
Yes,
This
I've
game
seen it.
reminds me a lot of that.
Yeah.
And that game
That's fair.
was super fucking weird.
Yeah, I think it's weird. This feels a little bit more like a teen horror where nothing too grotesque is going to happen.
Okay.
But at the same time, there are a few moments where it's like, oh, that got dark real quick.
What else you get up to?
That's it. I
Yeah.
played that. I played The Witness for 30 hours. So,
man.
Somehow.
yeah,
I always wondered, like, it seems like that game could be really, really quick.
Maybe.
I saw a
You
news
get on a
story
roll.
where somebody speedran it in like less than half an hour.
That
Well,
speed
knowing
run,
the
that
solutions
speed
is
run,
different.
That speed run would be super interesting. Like, I wonder, do you just memorize the
You would
solutions?
have to memorize the puzzles.
Right.
Yeah.
Man,
That actually seemed like, of all the games that us as a group would be able to speed run, it's probably going to be the easiest. Like, it seems like it would be
maybe.
the easiest.
I feel like John Blow.
maybe.
I feel like John Blow came out and said if you went back and played it again, knowing all the answers, you could get through it in about 12.
Hours?
Yeah.
Okay. That's I believe that.
Yeah, but he said if you go in cold and are trying to do everything, he said it could take you 100.
Wow.
So
What?
yeah,
Why the fuck did I buy this?
you
Listen, you don't have to do everything.
I'm at 30 and I'm a couple puzzles short of what I believe to be at least going into the area that, like what they're on that mountaintop seems to be where everything's going to shit.
Yeah. You want my advice? Roll the credits, and then if you want to go back, go back.
Mm-hmm.
Then explore shit.
I don't know. Even at $40, it seems steep.
I think it's perfectly priced. I mean,
As someone who likes
listen,
puzzle games, I think it
Yeah.
was a great deal.
It
for
would
me.
have been $30, but games have gotten more expensive in the last 2 years.
Yes.
This would have been a $30 release.
See, I think 30 would have been a good point. Maybe
It might
like
even be 30 American.
$34.99 I could see paying.
We deal in CAD, which is fucked. I bought XCOM 2 today. It was $79.99 on the PC.
That's not even
Yeah.
weird.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Isn't everything
On the
80 bucks?
PC,
my
on the
fucking-
PC, that's expensive.
Holy shit. I shopped around. I legitimately shopped around trying to find it
find a
cheaper.
better deal?
Yeah.
The special edition, which only contains more costumes for the soldiers, is $130 on Steam.
Jesus.
Games are so expensive.
Sometimes they're really good though.
Yeah.
Why is it so
sometimes.
expensive? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know. I honestly think it's the XCOM guys had to push it back for a year, and now they're just trying to make more money off it.
It's $59.99.
Our dollars in the pooper.
Yeah, it's $59.99 American, which is not unheard of for PC games to launch at the same price as console games. It's a little rare, especially when there's no XCOM 2 on console.
Yeah.
But this makes me think that around this time next year we'll see an announcement XCOM 2 for console.
I hope so, because I'm not going to get a
And-
PC to play it, but I kind of want to play it.
Yeah, it makes it a little less offensive if like, oh, this is $60 or whatever. But if it came out on PC and was 40, and then a year later it came out on console and was 80, then people would be pissed.
Well, if you can't play it right away and you really want to, you can check out Matt and I are going to be streaming it on Manatang, the twitch.tv/the Manatang
That's the one.
on February 5th, starting at about 7:30 Mountain Time.
Yeah, that's this Friday.
This Friday.
We'll be taking a look at whatever that thing is. I played a couple games. I've been streaming Dark Souls quite a bit. I am
Yes, I
making my
see
way
you
through
on
it.
there quite often.
Yeah, it's a hell of a game. When I say I've been playing it, what I really mean is,
Chat has been.
well, actually, you know
You've
what?
been physically playing it,
Yeah.
but they've been giving you the emotional support needed to make it through.
I honestly would have stopped this was the whole point of it. If I wasn't streaming it, if I didn't have this there's a few people who have been there, like I'm sort of committed to them now.
Yeah.
Now I have to go and die over and over and over and over and over again on this net. Like I have to do it for at least a couple hours. If I didn't have this to push me forward, I never would have
This
made
is
it.
like your I was insulted on Twitter by Kanye West support group.
Exactly. It's a hell of a game. I don't really have anything to say about it. I did play a bunch of Rainbow Six Siege.
Really?
Yeah.
You're like the only person I know who has played that game.
Yeah, Max and
Max.
I played
Yeah.
a little bit of it. It's we had the optimal setup. We had a full team, 5 people.
Yep.
All of them were really into it. All of not afraid to look stupid, not afraid to make call outs and strategize and that stuff. And I was very much the dead weight around that team's neck. That game's really good when you have that
The ideal
perfect setup.
situation, yeah.
Totally.
I'm gonna tell you, I watched the stream for about 15 seconds, and in that 15 seconds, you managed to accidentally, I'm using air quotes right now, accidentally headshot someone on your own team in the back of the head.
Yeah, that game has
Whoops.
friendly fire. It turns out. So if you have that setup, it's awesome. Like it's 5-on-5. It's already gotten to this weird point where there are optimal strategies on every map. So going into it, the experienced guys would say things like, "Okay, well they can make it to this window before we make it here, so we actually have to, crouch past this point because they could have a sniper there."
Well, it's like CS:GO, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Siege is much more about like blowing up walls, or it's supposed to be anyways, blowing up walls and making your own entrances, and that's how it was pitched. That is not really as prevalent as it seems.
Really?
Like you can blow up a lot of the walls specifically, but for where the bomb or the objective is going to be hidden, because one team's always defending it, one team's always trying to get it, whether it be a bomb or a hostage or whatever, there are 1 or 2 optimal strategies for every point that if the
Yeah.
team knows what they're doing, they will do that every time.
That's
And
kind of lame.
yeah, that's sort of a huge bummer.
It's like the way they made it play out in the commercials, at least, was it's like, oh, they have the bomb in this one room. I'm going to go to the second floor and blow a hole in the roof and then jump through that hole and shoot everyone on the way down.
And you can do that, but the hole can only be blown at one specific spot
And
above
they're
that
not
room.
going to put the fucking bomb there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's super technical already, and that sort of sucks. And there's a lot of like weird free-to-play shit built in there. So there are...
There's no campaign in this, right?
No.
Okay.
No, there's no story mode. There are these like single-player situations where it's you like, take out the AI or whatever.
Right.
There are, I don't know how many classes, say like... There's attack and defense, maybe 15 for each one. They all have sort of unique gear. Like one guy has a big turret, one guy has a riot shield, one guy has a medic gun. You are unlocking those with a currency that you are getting for playing games. Every time you unlock one, the next one costs more currency. So they are getting progressively harder to unlock.
Okay.
You can go into the store and just buy that currency if you want. You know what? That might not be totally true. You can buy boosters. And there's a thing where if everybody else on the team is boosting to get bonus currency, they all get a bonus for each person boosting. So if you're not boosting...
So it's exponential. It's
yes.
like, if you're not boosting, you're hurting your
Exactly. So you're going to have 4 guys being like, what the fuck? Why aren't you... Come on, man. We're all boosting while you boost. Like, there's so much...
I hate this game.
team. Yeah, that seems really scummy.
There's a lot... You know what? There's a lot to hate.
Good.
It's that... All of that stuff is shitty. But if you happen to have 4 friends... who get way into it, like it's a really good tactical team shooter.
And who love boosting.
Yeah. I didn't have too much of a problem. Well, so the other shitty thing with that class thing, if someone picks the class, you can't be that class. And so right out of the gate, you only have 1 or 2 classes, and you'll get into situations where the other teammate has already picked that class. So I guess I'm just not getting a class this time. I'm just going to be the base guy who has no gear and like kind of the shitty gun.
Really?
So
Yeah.
stupid.
Wow.
Like they really want you to spend money on top, and it's a full retail. It's a $80 on console here in Canada, $45 on PC. Like it's a full retail game.
Jeez.
It's super shitty, and they were
insane.
promoting what's her name, Angela
Yeah.
Bassett something. I don't
Black
know her name.
The actress?
Yeah, is she in 24 or
The actress.
Homeland?
What did I say?
You know who I mean.
You said the black actress.
Anyways,
Sorry, yes.
Ubisoft has been. Ubisoft brought her out at E3 2 years in a row. They brought her
Hashtag
out at
Oscars
E3
so white.
with Aisha Tyler to promote the game. And they're like, oh, we got these big TV actors, and she is like, she is reading you this is how to breach a room. This is how to defuse a like reading you the tutorials, and that's kind of it. It's a bummer. It's a huge bummer in a lot of ways.
The way you beamed coming into this conversation
listen,
and then just talked yourself out of it.
2016 Matt is looking for the positive.
He's trying.
There's some cool stuff there.
You find the rose before you realize it's in a field of shit.
Exactly. If this would have been a free-to-play game, it would have been, I think, absolutely incredible. I think they would have made a killing, too, because
It's the same with every video game
people
ever.
probably want to buy that stuff, but not after you've paid $60 for it. So I do want to play more. Now that I have it and I own it, I've already taken the plunge. I really want to get 4 people together and get back in there.
You think it's ever a game that you'll play with less than a full team?
No. Well, maybe. I'll never play it alone.
Yeah, okay.
Never.
While we're kind of on the subject of that kind of multiplayer, me and my buddy Andy tried to get play Evolve for the first time.
And they just released a new hunter.
Did they?
Yeah.
I mean, they should probably tell some people that because there's like 17 people playing that game.
Yep.
We sat in because we've done this like twice before and not been able to get into a match, and like not one match. And we came back. We were like, we got some time. Let's just see how long it takes. And we sat there for half an hour. So I'm just talking on the headset, catching up, and never did that thing start a match.
That's
Wow.
Yeah.
I like Evolve.
Me too, in concept.
Yeah.
If I can play Evolve, I really like Evolve.
That super sucks. That's a thing too where when is anyone ever going to play that game now? Now that nobody's playing it,
that game's dead.
Yeah, I don't know how you could breathe life back into
Evolve
it.
2.
I guess.
Maybe.
And that's kind of the bad thing about doing a game like that that's strictly multiplayer. It's like your fan base stops playing and that's it. You're done.
And there's so many like different strings they're trying to pull on that multiplayer matchmaking. Like where they're like, well, we have all these people ordering what they want to be in a specific order, and they're trying to take that into account, and they're trying to take if they'd rather be the monster or the hunters into account. And it's like at some point when you get this low, just ditch all that and be like, if I want to play Evolve, I'll play with whatever you give me because
Match 'em
that's
up
the
and-
only way to get in.
That's too bad.
Yep. I really like that game.
That makes me sad.
I like
Yeah.
the concept enough that I gave him money for it and didn't play.
That's okay. Now none of us are playing,
There you
so
go.
it all worked out.
In a way, you're a pioneer.
And you caught back up to the rest of us. Welcome back. Let's go for a quick break. We'll come back, do some news, do a little bit of email, something like that. We'll see everybody here on the other side of this break. So he does this thing where he takes a bag of frozen hash browns, a bottle of ranch dressing, and a bag of shredded cheese, and puts it all in a slow cooker for like 4 hours. And it comes out as a brick. And yeah, that's pretty much the appropriate sound of it. The first year he made 2 of them. I think he's just gone down to 1.
I think every year we have a Super Bowl party, I think I eat like 2 chicken wings and then
Why do
I-
you have to hate on chicken wings?
Yeah,
it's
eat
not that I
100
hate on
chicken
it's not
wings.
that I hate on chicken wings, it's just the type of food that shows up at a Super Bowl party is not conducive to keeping it down.
No. Super Bowl's not about keeping your food down.
I always do okay, you know? Wings, couple horse doovers.
Well, yeah, it's like it's all unbelievably breaded, fried.
Yeah, whatever.
And then you mix that with the-
When did you
terrible
become
food.
Mr. Health Conscious? You brought a fish sandwich, a breaded fish sandwich from Wendy's for dinner. Or was
Well,
that
there's
chicken?
Chicken.
All right, thank
I think
God.
it's more about the fact that when you mix all that stuff with beer, it is a recipe for
I
vomit.
don't have a problem.
But at the same time, that's literally every day I go to the bar. I get fried food and drink 100 beers.
Yeah, it's
So-
anytime you go to the bar, eating wings, 100 beers, maybe a little excessive.
It wasn't
Well, it's
actually
Brandon.
100.
Yeah.
What's coming out in the world of video games?
Where
Brandon?
to start? The big banger is Digimon Story, Cyber Sleuth. That's out for the PS4.
Can I make a little side here? Did you guys see anything about that? There's a new
The
3DS
fucking
game.
Pikachu thing?
Yeah,
Yeah, that
Detective
thing's
Pikachu.
weird.
There's a 3DS game where Pikachu's a detective.
We're going to watch that after this.
Fuck yeah, we are. We're gonna play that after this.
Gravity Rush, do you remember that game?
Yeah, I do.
That game is remastered for the PS4 coming out.
There's a second one coming out too. Not this week, but in
That's
the
all I
future.
know.
Yeah.
I got my blinders on. Great Detective Pikachu for the 3DS. XCOM 2
That
is
comes
a
out.
big one.
Detective Pikachu's out this week.
On the 3rd.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is it on the 3DS? What can you tell me about it?
Okay.
How much is it gonna cost me?
It's on 3DS. Only in Japan.
There's ways around that. I can find a
just
copy.
Buy a Japanese 3DS and then fly yourself in a copy of the game.
I think they're not region locked.
Oh, really?
I think. I'd have to check.
American Truck Simulator. And
Yes. Yes, sign me up.
and Agatha Christie, The ABC Murders.
Like,
That's a real thing.
okay.
That's for the PS4, Xbox One, and Windows.
Weird.
And then the big one, XCOM 2,
Oh.
comes out on the 5th.
That's Friday.
That's a Friday.
That's a weird day. Just to reiterate, Kevin and I are going to be playing that live on twitch.tv/theManatank.
It says I can play this on my
About-
Mac.
about
I wonder how
7:30.
that would work.
The first one came out on absolutely everything. iPad
Well, the
All the
first one
consoles.
originally only came out on PC,
and consoles.
and then a year later was console, and then I want to say like 6 months after that was tablet.
I think it was day and date, PC
It was,
and
no,
console.
not day and date.
I'm going to maybe fact check that.
I can do that because
Sure.
I have a link to XCOM 1 on my
All right.
XCOM 2
As
page.
the biggest XCOM fan in the room, I
And the
really
best
hope I'm
player.
right.
What, that's all that's coming out. Yes?
Yeah, I give you lots.
Okay.
Roll with
let's,
it. What do you want
I
to talk
am.
about? You can talk about any of those.
No, I'm
Detective
rolling,
Pikachu.
rolling right over to the news section.
Today's top story. Electronic Arts abandons E3 2016 for EA Play event. Lots of EA news this week, you guys. So
Buckle up.
if you guys have no comments or concerns, I will just move right along.
Well,
Sure, I can
EA
save mine to
does
the end.
make my new favorite game of the year, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Is that what it's been like playing on your iPad after you?
If you guys want the XCOM answer, came out on Windows, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, OS X on November 12th. And then
I'm usually pretty good at that stuff.
and then Linux and Android much after.
Kevin,
That
I
is-
accept your apology.
That is totally not true.
Yes, it is.
It definitely did not come on iOS the same day it came out on PC. That is 100% not true.
OS X.
OS X is Mac,
Yep.
not
whatever.
iOS was later.
Yeah.
All right.
A year later.
Well, I maintain that I'm half right.
Should
Fair.
I have comments about this EA leaving the E3 floor? Should I save them to the end of the E3 stories? Or,
No, let's
or-
talk about it now.
Yep.
That's
like,
fucking crazy.
yeah, that's a big chunk of
for the first time in
video
20
games.
years.
That's weird.
The way the EA show, I've only ever heard stories, obviously, but the way the show floor space works is that because it's in such high demand now, because the show has gotten so big, you were sort of grandfathered into the space you had. So anybody leaving, he's got okay.
I don't think that they're actually leaving the show floor. I just think that they're
So they're going to set up a booth and it's just going to be empty?
no. I mean, like, I think
They're going to
instead
sit there
of
but have no booth.
they're the way Nintendo does their Nintendo Directs and
Sony experience?
PlayStation Experience, PSX, and yeah, they are just putting on their own like
Thing.
sort of.
I'm gonna fact. It's
Sorry, the way that they have like the Xbox press event and the PlayStation press event, and usually include EA games, like the
Because they're
new
still doing the
Assassin's
press
Creed.
event, right?
This I feel is like them being like, EA is gonna do their own press event.
They are.
They're still gonna have a show presence on the floor, yada yada yada. They're
They
just,
won't. EA will not be on the show floor.
Yeah, when I read
Oh,
the story,
really?
Yeah.
I read it like they are not doing E3 and they're going to do their own thing
But I think they're still running
at the
their
same time frame kind of thing.
I think they're still running their press conference, aren't they? It was just the show floor stuff
Well, yeah,
that we're coming
it's,
off of.
they're going to do their thing at a separate venue at the same time.
It's called EA Play. They have
EA
their
Play.
own presser now called EA Play, which will be off-site.
Yeah.
Yep.
They will have no booth on the show floor, but they will still have private meetings.
But will E3 what is it called? EA Play?
EA Play, yeah.
Will that broadcast as a part of the E3 lineup like Nintendo's does?
I highly doubt it will broadcast as part of E3, but it will be the same weekend.
Right.
Well, like the Nintendo Directs don't broadcast on the E3.
I think they do.
Their E3 conference. They
They have their
have an E3 conference and the Directs, I think.
No,
right?
they don't have anything on stage. They have their pre-packaged little pre-taped thing,
okay.
and that has a slot on E3 where they say, after this is the Nintendo thing.
I'm not too sure on how that's going to work.
I was under the impression that they still would have a thing, just like they're breaking off and doing their own show.
Yeah. And it's like the year we were there, it's hard to remember, but it huge space. Like their booths have
Really?
been
Yeah,
massive
well,
every year.
The year I was there, it was not a whole lot for E EA.
Really? When we were
Yeah.
there, well, they always have like all their games. They usually build like a big structure, and then all their games, or most of their games, are in it.
Well,
So
yeah,
they have,
because
like,
when we were there,
Battlefield and-
it was all about the new consoles. So they had all the floor
Yeah.
space. So, I mean, EA was probably there, and they did have a big setup for Battlefield 4. Because they had the 64 PC setup and then the two commanders.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, that was super cool. But
It's nuts. Like a huge company just leaving the show entirely is pretty unheard of.
Whatever.
But they're still there, and they're still
Yeah, no,
making the
totally.
connections they need to make.
This is the thing to take away from this is maybe E3 doesn't. Maybe we don't need E3.
I never even thought they did need E3.
So what do you want this stuff to be broadcast at?
I mean, it's
Because
like
I'm fine with having no E3, but I do like having, like, here's a look at the year ahead for video games.
yeah, totally. But
Yeah.
E3 traditionally was this thing for like press to come and see because you couldn't stream everything all the time. Now you can just stream it, right?
Yeah.
The hold your own presser, stream it out to the internet, put it on your website, put it on your Twitter. Like everybody's so connected now that you don't need to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars and set up a booth.
But there is very much a, like, especially that first day that they're there is something that they are doing for the general audience.
That's because E3 has kind of turned into this like
Right,
more
but I
public
think
event.
there is a place for that,
There might be.
but you could do it anywhere. You could
Yeah,
be
totally.
like, well, let's all congregate and do this 2 days of press conferences, and that's it.
Sure. Like, we have PAXs. We have a million huge conventions
Yeah, there's
all
like
around the world
4
now.
PAXs now in a year.
I think there's 5 if you include, like, Australia.
Jeez.
So
It's
I guess at some point, if you have 5 PAXs, why not have an E3? Like, what makes those ones the ones where it's like, well, we don't need E3 because now we have 5 PAXs.
Well, the
Maybe
reason
we don't need
is
5 PAXs.
the PAXs are what the fans can go to.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the
but
fans,
the fans can kind of go to all of them now.
Yeah, they've
fans
opened it
aren't,
up.
or the public isn't, or
They
yeah,
do.
They were
wasn't
never
supposed
really
to
As
the,
we've-
the target audience for E3.
As we've all come to
Yes,
agree,
we've gotten in there.
this might be a public thing
anybody
now.
can fucking get in there.
So, during an earnings call, an EA earnings call with the investors, they dropped a few little tidbits of stuff. You guys interested?
Sure.
Titanfall, the new Titanfall. Is in the works.
Good. We already knew that, didn't
It
we?
is canceled.
That would be a reason to applaud.
Didn't they drop a trailer for that at some point?
Yeah, it was announced. It's just
Yeah.
Again, they're just like, this is an investor's call and be like, yeah, Titanfall is still coming.
It was like a
Don't-
teaser, not a
Don't
trailer.
you guys worry.
Yeah. Vincent.
I'm excited for Titanfall. I really like that game.
I
Jason?
will probably try this next one.
Yeah, it was good.
That first one was really good.
Like
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
first one, I feel is like in the realm of like Evolve, where if I go to play, there's nobody gonna play with
I
me.
bet people are still playing Titanfall. I
Yeah?
guarantee people are still playing
and
Titanfall.
I think all
more
that
than
DLC's
Evolve.
free now. So
Also, I probably won't play it.
Right.
I'll buy it and play it.
Too
I'll
many
buy
people.
it, not play it. I mean,
What if you could buy a Metal Gear skin for your Titan?
you should let us know if you start playing Titanfall. Me and Matt will come play Titanfall with you.
Anytime, any place.
a new Battlefield game from DICE
Yeah, 5.
will launch in
Are you sure?
in time for the 2016 holiday season.
Wow.
Is
Let's-
it 5 or is it?
I think we know it's 5 at this
Okay.
point. Yeah.
In the way you said, let's get people together to play Siege. Let's get people to play Battlefield. 'Cause
Yes.
I
Gonna
like
give it-
Battlefield.
Just like Battlefield 4.
Yes.
gonna
I
give it
still
a-
play.
I played a lot of Battlefield 4 with Matt and Eric.
Did you?
Yes,
How much is a lot?
more than I am known to play games.
Yeah, probably like 8 or 9 hours.
Wow.
All things considered.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like we got together and we played. There was the one time he messaged, he put an open message out, and I'm like, let's play. And I had to update. And we didn't play.
It didn't work.
Yeah, I saw that message like 6 hours later, and I'm like, I actually would have played, but
I want to see if it works first.
Yeah. The last
Yeah, that's
was 4 the one that
4 was
Battlefield 4.
bad.
yeah,
busted.
4 was so broken everybody got a free game.
By the time I
maybe.
jumped
Or
in,
was
it
that some
perfectly
other
fine.
hot EA game like Sim City? I know they did that with Sim City as well.
Nope.
they've done it more than once.
Yeah.
And in fairness, it's kind of everyone because Ubisoft gave a lot of free games away too.
Battlefield's really good. I still play Battlefield 4. I still play vanilla Battlefield 4 to this day. I played it
all I
last
play.
week.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I should hook up my 360 again and play some 1943. Oh yeah.
I'm surprised they never re-released it in any form. Maybe there are so many Battlefield games
Yeah, I
now,
think
like
it's-
4 Hardline,
yeah.
Battlefront, that you maybe don't need that. But
Mass Effect Andromeda wasn't dated,
Everyone, shut up.
but they're expecting it to be released later in the fiscal year.
I was really hoping you were going to say the biggest Mass Effect game ever made.
even bigger than that last time we said it was the biggest.
So the fiscal year runs from April 1st, 2016 to March 31st, 2017.
Just like
So
wrestling.
it will be released
So it could, like, I would like them to try to get into holiday season,
March 30th, 2017.
but yes, it could go as late as that.
I'm gonna say
I want some new Mass Effect.
I really
Me
hope
too.
it just doesn't get released.
I'm gonna say they're gonna announce it for January this time next year, and then it's gonna get pushed back till summer.
I've made a pledge because I don't think they're going to re-release those remasters until after that game comes out.
I don't know.
But either way,
They've been hinting.
The day they announce the date for that game is when I'm going to play those games again. As an ode to myself.
I
Yeah,
really
that's a good one.
hope that
I might get in on that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and not play it, but I have a feeling that you guys are going to convince me to play it.
Yeah.
Why do you hate it so much?
It's just the first one was so bad.
The first one is really good.
The first one is the worst.
Story was bad. The gameplay was bad.
Story's
the
not
character
bad.
The story
development
was great.
bad.
The gameplay was
Gameplay
so-so.
was rough.
and like
Class system
fucking
was
car
bad.
was terrible.
all that stuff is just like the advancement of Knights of the Old Republic, of Baldur's Gate 2, of all the BioWare games. There's a very clear path you can follow as you play their games. You're like, oh, this is exactly like the game they just made, except everything's a little bit better.
I agree
And
with
that's
Kevin.
why I hate BioWare
You
so
liked
much.
Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, congratulations. I liked the first game they made,
You
and
know,
then they made
that's
piles
not
of
the first
shit.
game they made.
Well, whatever. The first.
I think
one
they even
of the
made
first
MDK2
games.
before they made Baldur's Gate.
One
That might
of the
not be
first
right, but-
games they made.
I agree that Mass Effect 1 can be hard to go back to, knowing what it becomes in 2 and 3, because I think it's, in terms of the kind of video game I like, where I got a little more action shootery based,
Yeah.
I like 2 and 3 a ton. I like 1 just a lot.
I really love 1. Oh, 1 is so good.
My God.
Quantifiers.
It was like, I have no more to say on it. It's really good.
Last thing on EA stuff is expect a Mirror's Edge Catalyst news story this week.
Did we not get a release date on that game already?
What
Expect
does
a
that
news
even
story.
mean?
That's
I think there is at least rough enough of a date that they have it in the ordered. They have it in the coming soon on Xbox Live, which
Okay.
usually means they
Yeah.
have a date or a window.
That game might be all right, I guess.
It'd be pretty dope on VR.
Yeah. Maybe. I wonder if you can even play it on VR. If
Probably
it, like,
not,
makes
'cause
you
I think you can
throw
only-
up instantly.
You know
That's
what game would be
that's the
sweet
problem
on
with
VR?
VR.
Every
Witness.
game.
The Witness. That's exactly what I was
Witness would've
thinking. That
been
would have been
sweet.
pretty fucking awesome.
For me, like, because you were talking about how you're gonna wait for it for Oculus.
Yeah.
And I was
Man.
like, the first thing I thought was like, I think that would be the game where I would get the least out of it.
Imagine holding your finger up with one of those touch controllers and tracing the thing, the panel.
Maybe it's just maybe the
Yeah.
whole VR thing just
Looking
doesn't
around
get
in
me.
space. It might
But
even
like,
be
yeah,
easier
going
on
up to
VR.
the top of the mountain and just looking around, like I feel like that'd be cool.
I don't know. You got to navigate all those paths.
Yeah,
and-
treacherous.
yeah.
They're supposed to be adding
You
VR
can't-
support.
You can't fall off the edge.
That's
so.
true.
I was actually going to wait for VR support, and then luckily you talked me into it.
Yeah.
Into not waiting, that is.
Don't let life pass you by, Matt.
Here.
Who's ready for an NX update?
Me.
Reputable news thing.
Talking Reckless podcast says.
The Wall Street Journal
Oh, okay.
Okay.
has reported that the NX will be both a console and a handheld that will effectively replace the Wii U and the 3DS.
Huh.
That's what it should be.
That's what everybody has been saying.
Yeah.
And I've been parroting this whole time, so it's like I was right all along.
Yep.
That's
smart. Like
That sounds cool.
all I'm picturing is like a really high-powered handheld device that I can just sit in front of my TV and be like, "Okay, start playing on my TV now." And then I can walk away and sit on the toilet and be like, "I'm gonna play you on the toilet
Yeah.
now." I could take you on the bus. I could take you anywhere I want.
I imagine it like the Wii U, except instead of the big tablet, it's much more ergonomic and it has unlimited range because it is the console.
Yeah. For me, it's like as long as I have a Wi-Fi connection, I want to be able to play my games.
Yeah, I want to be able to play Super Mario Maker in the can at work when I'm supposed to be working.
Right.
That's what I
That's
want.
the dream.
That's what I want.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
Not asking for the moon and the sun here.
console will be using quote unquote industry leading chips to run it, and they're expecting it to be on par with PlayStation 4, Xbox One.
That is not saying very much.
No, not
Like,
really.
Those consoles were not really that powerful when they
okay,
came out.
bud.
Listen, when they came out, in the grand scheme of technology, they were very middle of the road. Now here we are 2 years, 3 years, 2 years later.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
2 and a bit, yep.
As a PC gamer, I just
Yeah,
like you to
this
know
is
that
I'm just
all I
reporting
hear.
the facts.
This is all
I
I
am
hear.
just reporting
my
the facts.
PC was that good 5 years ago.
No, my PC was better than that 5 years ago. That's how middle of the road they are.
And a rumor is that a Smash Bros. Game will be launched with it.
It looks like it's too early for that.
It's
There-
never too early for a
there-
Smash Brothers game for Mario. It's
Been a couple years since the last one.
The rumor is just like an up-resed or upscaled the previous Smash Bros. Game.
Oh.
I don't even know what it is.
Oh, okay. That's different then. What? Because
Maybe.
there was a significant gap between Brawl and and Melee.
Consoles. It's been one a console.
Yeah, no, because it was GameCube to Wii U.
No,
there was one for
Brawl is Wii.
Yeah.
Brawl is Wii.
This
What
one is
one
just
are we-
Super
oh,
Smash
right,
Brothers.
okay. I thought this
think,
one was
right?
Brawl for some reason.
I think this one is just called Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah. Still one per console, with console lives of like 8 years now.
Yeah, no, it's pretty far between.
Right.
Hey,
if they
I don't
make
know.
another one, I'll buy another one. But
Like, I feel like they're scraping the bottom of the barrel so hard on their characters already. Like, Cloud?
don't play them then. Like, well, I don't know.
that
what-
one I didn't understand.
10, maybe Fire Emblem is like really big, and I'm just old man out of touch here, but like 10 different Fire Emblem characters? Your character, the nameless character that you are in Fire Emblem, is a Smash Brothers character. Fuck that.
I think the thing is Fire Emblem is so big in Japan that if they didn't have those throwbacks to it, then the Japanese client base would get angry.
Pit and Dark Pit. Marth, Marth and Lady Marth. They had like the exact same
Okay.
moveset.
Those are different situations because Marth and Lady Marth, I think, are just skin swaps.
No, Lucina and Marth are separate characters.
Oh, okay. I think there's a Lady Marth you can be.
Oh, really?
And then there's Lucina.
Weird.
Lucina is the Mario Starbroad, isn't she?
Oh, maybe I got the wrong name. No, I don't know. Lady Marth
Lady Marth.
and Marth are separate characters. I'm almost positive. Pit and Dark Pit are for sure.
They have different moves. They have very different. It's very different. It's very different.
Maybe to a pro like you.
Very
Maybe,
different.
Yeah, I just
Hey, don't look at me. I'm just
Scratching
this
the
is just
surface.
this is just what I hear from my pro friend Andy.
Cloud is in there now.
Yeah, what's wrong with Cloud?
Fuck Final Fantasy. Cloud, no.
I am
Cloud.
on board with fuck Final Fantasy. I am not on
They don't-
board. Like, that is a huge thing for them. Like, that's like on par with getting a Street Fighter character.
It's like
That's
when-
really neat.
It's like when Snake made it in there.
Yeah.
They don't need any more guys with big swords. I think that roster has
big
roster has
swords.
become just guys with big swords.
Just make this game Soul Calibur and I'll be happy.
Yeah, at this point they should. It should be called Super Sword Brothers at this point.
At the risk of extending Smash Brothers talk,
God forbid.
how do they do, like at a pro level with this game? And you guys have talked about this, and it's not as like chaosy as I think it is. It's actually pretty like strategic and
That's when Smash Brothers is boring.
yeah.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Do any of these characters like? Do all of these characters
I don't know
have
if
a
anybody.
fair shake?
No.
I don't know if anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know if they even play the Wii U one at the pro
Because
level.
what I'm asking is like adding all these characters and having so many of these characters. Like, how do they even balance?
Because for me, it's not probably very well balanced.
Yeah.
It's I go and sit down and play Smash Brothers and drink a bunch of beers
Yeah.
and yell at my friends. And I have characters that when I get them, I was like, I'm just gonna get fucking killed here because this character either sucks or is good and I don't know how to play it. But I hit random every time. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're sad. I'm not looking for them to like if they add another 100 characters, I wouldn't care. I'd just keep hitting random every time.
I just want like
And I keep
iconic,
fighting.
fun, unique. I want unique characters. Is what I want.
Name one.
What?
Name one.
That I
Name one that you want.
One character that should go into Smash Brothers.
Dark Cloud.
I can't believe Shovel Knight isn't in, to be honest.
Shovel
there-
Knight. Didn't Shovel Knight come out after?
Yeah.
When has that ever mattered? After Wii U Smash Brothers?
I think so.
They're adding DLC characters all the time.
No, I know.
They only added Cloud because they're doing that Final Fantasy VII remake, and it's super topical right now.
I'm having a tough time believing you were like, I want iconic Nintendo characters. Shovel Knight should be.
I
in
want
there.
unique characters.
Cloud is
Anyone
weird
would do.
because Cloud was a PlayStation character.
But what the
Yeah,
anyways.
I agree. That's
But
why it's
also,
weird
like-
for me.
Also, like
Is there a Final Fantasy or a Resident Evil guy in there? There is, right? Chris?
There might
Chris?
be. I don't know. I don't know where half of them are from.
Was there a Castlevania character?
No.
Because Castlevania was originally
Yeah.
on the NES.
Okay, how much of
That's
this is
Alucard.
licensing issue though?
That's,
Simon.
Yeah, that's probably
Yeah, Konami
doesn't
owns
want
that
to-
one, so fuck forget it.
I'm so disconnected from, I'm so far from caring about anything Nintendo. At
Yeah,
this
pretty
point.
much.
Like, and the only time
I'm really excited for the new Zelda game.
I was almost excited for the new Zelda game, and then I
Detective
realized
Pikachu.
that I was excited 2 years ago when that game was supposed to be coming out soon.
The Skyward Sword one?
No,
Is
it
it
was,
that
it was
the
never
same
coming
game.
out soon
I
2
see.
years ago. It
Well-
still might not be coming out soon.
Yeah, and that's
was this the one where like they showed on the video of like the guy
it's like some
playing it.
dude on a cliff.
It was Miyamoto and... Oh,
and they were playing
I
like
forget who the other guy
early
was.
footage of it
Reggie?
on like on a TV screen.
almost always
No,
Reggie.
was it? I don't think so. No, the video they showed of it was them. It looked finished. Like they were playing what looked like a finished game, and they did the like, do you see those mountains in the distance? I'm gonna ride over to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be dope. That'd be pretty dope. You got any other news?
You've never
No,
been
that's
able to
about
ride
it.
to the mountains. They're just out there on the other side of that like cardboard cutout bush.
Yeah. Let's bounce on over to email. That's the best way to get in touch with the show, via electronic M's. You can write one into podcast@talkingreckless.com. I guess you could also tweet the show if you wanted. Talk Reckless Pod. We might see something on there.
Instagram the show at talking.reckless.
Brandon's microphone is wearing sunglasses, so let's keep these cool.
I gotta Instagram that.
Blake writes in, says, "Sup, Talking Reckless Squad. I had a question about watching games. I often find myself spending 2 to 3 hours on YouTube watching a game and loving the content, but then I only play an hour or so of the actual game. This happens all the time. Things like Hearthstone. His question, what are games that you watched a ton of, and then you sat down and played them, found out they were actually pretty disappointing? We can expand this, too, into just... Kevin and I specifically spend a lot of time watching Twitch, I feel like.
Me probably more than you.
Yeah, definitely
but,
you more than me.
it's not really a disappointing thing, but I probably am ballparking that I've spent 200 hours watching Ark on YouTube or Twitch. And I
one.
am still... I want to play the game. I want to play it so bad, but it's not out on console yet. Well, it's out on Xbox, but I talked myself out of buying an Xbox One just for the game. And it's not coming out for PlayStation till June. And I still don't know when I'm getting a new PC. It might happen before June. If it does, I already own Ark. So I can play it as soon as I have a machine that can run it.
I sort of only watch games that I already know I'm interested in. Very rarely am I like seeing a random game. Oh, I wonder what this is.
Yeah,
oh, that's
I'm
cool.
the
Maybe
same
I'll check
way.
it
It's
out.
like actually watching Ark video is what made me buy it.
Yeah.
So there's that. But what's the game like?
I guess that being said, you know what? I do watch a ton of produced, not live, but like produced video content about all sorts of games. That's how I get a lot of what I know about games.
Yeah.
Because I cannot play all
Like,
the shit I talk about, but I still know a lot about it.
Random Fallout videos. I watched a couple of those about finding items and shit. Never actually watched it while I was playing the game, which is kind of weird.
Someone on another podcast I listened to described Twitch. It's like public access television, but for everybody all the time. And it's totally true. And is...
Well, I mean, if
It's
you're
so great. It's like it's one of the ultimate expressions of freedom, because you can there are people on Twitch just fucking watching YouTube videos and like saying shit not even about the video, just fucking talking about nothing.
yeah,
Anybody can put anything on there at any time.
it's all about
God
how
bless 'em.
entertaining you are, right? So,
You don't even need to be. There are people streaming to
It goes up
0
there.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes those are the best.
yeah, every once in a while when I used to do this a long time ago with League, is I would be scrolling through the broadcasters looking for someone who I recognized, who I know puts out good content, and I wouldn't see anyone for the first couple pages. Then I'd be like, you know what? Let's go find someone with 1 or 2 viewers and just jump in and see why they only have 1 or 2 viewers. And it's pretty obvious why when you see those streams at the bottom of those lists.
I mean, Twitch is very top heavy.
Yeah.
Even if you are fantastic and have great content and whatever, like you could be the greatest thing ever, it's very top heavy. You kind of need a bunch of people to show up,
Yeah.
so that they're
You need viewers to make viewers.
exactly. Otherwise, people are like, well, this guy's nobody's watching. Something's wrong with him, right? You need a few people that you need to prime the pump. Is what you need to do.
The extent of my Twitch watching is I'll watch a broadcast of a game for like 30 seconds if I am looking at it on the store and being like, what is this like?
Oh, because they show like,
Yeah, they'll
oh,
put
this
some
guy's
streams
playing
up.
it.
Yeah, and then I'll watch for 30 seconds and kind of get a gist for if it's something I want to watch. But as like I've never sat down and watched full programming, for lack of a better word, on Twitch.
If I'm gonna go watch WrestleMania this year, you should come watch the International. That's the trade we should make. I don't know. I don't know if you probably wouldn't be as into it as I might be into
Well,
WrestleMania.
it's probably on a weekend, right?
Listen, we can make it work. We can watch it after just avoid the spoilers. We can watch it
Okay.
after the fact.
I would make that deal.
You should just see what it is.
Yeah. I mean, you should watch WrestleMania anyway.
I will. I probably
but
will.
I will come watch the
Yeah,
International.
and it's not a deal. I'll probably watch WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You should probably watch the International.
Okay. So it's a deal.
All right, it's
So
a deal.
we're both doing both for sure.
Yes, that's what we said.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't watch Twitch ever.
No?
No,
That's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
I don't get it.
As cable gets less and less prolific and internet content gets more and more popular.
It's just like I'm not about to watch like League and Dota or whatever or any sort of competitive thing. And it's not like I'm about to watch like a Tomb Raider video or a run through or whatever. And like the personalities on there are not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for me. Like, I think the best of Twitch or the best use of Twitch is broadcasting those big tournaments and having really good players playing their stuff, and I just don't care to watch any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if I were still in the fighting game scene, like maybe I would.
Sure. It's like if you're way into, say, hockey, it'd be like you could turn your TV on at any point and, I want to see what, my favorite player is doing right now.
Yeah.
Twitch is a really cool thing. The internet's a neat place.
Is there anything on there for me that I might be missing out just because of
No.
my active hate?
Fighting game tournaments.
Yeah, but I'm not into fighting games anymore.
Then
still
no.
watch Evo. I still watch SoCal Champions.
Yeah, like I'm not into fighting games at all, ever.
They're
but I
they're
still
exciting.
watch those.
They're well
is fun
produced,
to
and
watch.
watching high level fighting games is always entertaining.
Yeah, you get the crowd sells it for, like, the commentators don't have to do shit. The crowd usually sells it for them. Adam wrote in.
That's my buddy.
Your buddy Adam wrote in.
Yep.
Said, is this really him?
I think so.
Adamantium?
Yeah, probably.
We've gone through this.
Yeah.
Do you tell him we should change that?
No. Come on. Call me Ox.
He's got a couple things here. He wants to know if any of us have played, I don't know if it's Jotun or Jotun. No? All right.
That's my buddy.
Moving on. I thought there was a question here. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is sort of a question. He says, Matt, I love your excitement for VR. You sound like a preacher on a soapbox when telling... Adam, sounds like a preacher on a soapbox when telling the guys he works with how this will change the world, and they don't even know it. He was wondering if any of us have been keeping tabs on or are excited for the AR stuff, the augmented reality, the HoloLens, the Magic Leap.
So what's that, like PR?
No, we are in PR right now. We are in the physical reality.
AR is like halfway in between.
Yeah, I think. So,
Is there like a use, or is there like a? What am I trying to say? Is there like?
what is the use case for AR?
Yeah.
Like gaming wise, I think
Significantly
That's-
less than all other
Yeah.
practicalities. Yeah.
It seems like it'd be
board
great
games.
for watching movies in AR.
okay. You'll have to explain that one.
You just throw it up on any fucking wall you want.
yeah,
You
but
throw
you
it
can
up
do
on
that.
the back
You
door
can
of
do
your
that
bathroom.
VR. You just pull the headset down and.
Oh, so we're looking for a reason
Okay,
why AR
is-
is better.
I mean, it's not. Because
If
VR is the
I'm
best. but-
assuming, I'm just totally assuming what this means. What does it actually mean? What
So
is
AR
Augmented reality.
You are seeing the world, say through a pair of glasses.
Okay.
It is painting things kind of over top. It looks like it's
you-
in the world.
Did
Okay,
you ever
that's
have?
stupid.
Did you ever have a friend
really
with
cool.
like when
Never
3DS came out? Like there was the augmented reality things where you could like look around in the world and there'd be like fucking bats or something, and then you could shoot them with your stupid 3DS.
That's okay. They have
That was my very
think-
first AR experience.
I actually saw
at
the-
BioWare with James Dang, and I'm like,
JD.
this is kind of cool,
That
but
guy
also
loved
kind of dumb. Yeah, he did.
When I hear AR, the first thing that springs to mind is, that Turbo Ride Theater at West Edmonton Mall.
Yeah.
I always thought that they branded that as augmented reality because you go in and
They
it's like,
incorrectly might have.
yeah.
Well,
This is like, do you ever want to be those dudes who are like sitting at the Matrix, like moving all the windows around and letting ships in?
I have those AR cards for the 3DS somewhere. We should look at those to show them what it is.
But also, I've seen like with Google or what is it?
The HoloLens?
HoloLens, like they're playing Minecraft on a table.
The entire table turns
like this
into
table,
the Minecraft world.
I can see Brandon, I can see Kevin, I can see Matt, but there are fucking Minecraft blocks here, and we can do stuff with them.
I mean, at that point, you might as well just get the Microsoft Surface.
It's
'Cause
like
that's
that.
like the same
That's
thing.
also augmented reality, isn't
Sort
it?
of. Well, no, the Surface is just a tablet.
It's just really big.
It's 3D, right? It'll do things where like you are looking down into the table. I can't believe you don't know what this is.
I always thought augmented reality would be cool if we could, like, me and Matt could be playing a fighting game or something, and they'd just be fighting on the table.
I
And
feel
I'd
like
look
that was. I feel like that was a demo too.
That's like
That might have been. I think board games would like you could do some like super cool virtual board games with
Like
that
the
thing, right?
PlayStation Eye.
you know what else you could do? You could get a board game and put it on your table.
You could, but this way, Brando is in the west end of Edmonton. I'm here, and we really want to play some Settlers of Catan.
You could play Tabletop Simulator. It already exists.
Yeah, but it's shitty. It's not cool and in the world. Listen, you know Yu-Gi-Oh when they're playing the cards on the
Okay,
the
yeah.
things,
Now
and
you
they're
got me
coming to, like,
sold. Now you got me sold.
You could do that.
I'm in.
You could fucking do that. It would be
If
so
they
awesome.
Release this with a Yu-Gi-Oh title at launch.
They
I'll
have to.
fucking
Maybe
buy
not
one.
at launch,
I'll
but
buy one.
like that has to exist, right? I think AR is super cool.
Eh.
I think it's even more gimmicky than VR is.
Yeah. I don't like.
And also, we haven't heard about the HoloLens in a really long time, so
I don't see
Who
there
knows?
being just like.
It seems like as
It just seems
niche
way-
as a
yeah.
market VR is, AR will be even more niche.
Yeah, and like I don't see it moving beyond like gimmicky, dumb shit like shooting bats out of the sky.
It might be
or-
cheaper.
yeah.
Which is
and
something.
and it's gonna get
Would it be
really
cheaper,
weird
though?
when they can start
know.
combining
I don't think
them
it would
in
be.
weird ways.
I think it
VR
would be a
and AR?
lot
Yeah.
easier to do the VR in the headset to make it all make sense than to have something that can project onto the real
Yeah,
world.
you might be right. I have no
So I mean, it's really only putting it on the lens in front of your eye, but
Yeah, but
magic
for the
it
whole
looks like it is.
like when you look away, the image won't follow. It'll stay on that one spot. Right? Theoretically?
yeah, no, yeah, yeah.
You would hope.
The AR would be dumb if it didn't.
Well, yeah.
Only time will tell. I think. Listen, this is the year of VR. Actually,
year.
no,
We'll
yeah,
see.
next year or the year after will probably be the year of VR if there is one. Probably going to be a few years after that till we have our big year of AR. You guys want to read one more email?
Is that all you said?
Quick one. Yeah. Let's
Adamantium.
Adamantium. Oh,
Adamantium.
he spells it dumb because the real spelling's already taken. Apparently, he also said that.
There you go.
Tell him he should still change it.
Hey Adam, thanks for writing in, bud.
Let's do a quick one. Eduardo wants to know. He says, "Hey, Reckless Talkers, my friend and I were arguing about which was better, cake or pie."
Cake.
Pie.
You fucking savage. Pie is so much better.
Cake.
What?
way
What is
better.
wrong with you guys?
Cake's way better. Pie's not
Why
even
is
that
cake
good.
better? Cake is dry.
Hold on.
No.
Let's put some clarifications
Not good
on
cake.
this.
Compared to pie, it is.
If we're
Pie
going
is soggy.
if our options are DQ ice cream cake,
Take that back.
Oh,
That's ice
shit.
cream. That's not cake.
it says cake.
That's
Says
a
cake.
that is a cake shaped.
right on it.
Yeah. So if you have a car an ice cream a car tire made of ice cream because your buddy loves automotives or whatever,
Yep.
is that a tire?
Can you drive it?
No.
Then it's not a tire.
No, that's
You
a
can't.
tire.
You
That's
can't
a tire
bake
cake.
this ice cream cake.
It's a tire cake.
What kind of rule is there that you got to bake a
That's
cake?
like saying an apple pie is not an apple.
It's not.
I know.
But-
So a tire
but
cake is not a tire.
I forget what I'm arguing about. Pie's way better.
Pie is way better because you can go to Tim Hortons at 3 a.m, drunk off of your ass,
That's a
buy
coffee
a
store.
full pie from the display case, and sit down and eat it.
I don't think
Pie
they
in
sell
the
pie.
display
I don't know
case?
if you've ever been to a Tim Hortons. They don't sell pie.
This was a while ago.
Oh, okay.
This was back in the day.
I was so ready to buy that argument.
But no, we used to do that right out of high school. The year after high school, we would get super shit-faced at the bar, take the cab to the closest Tim Hortons to somebody's place, buy all of their pies, and just sit in the Tim Hortons and eat pie.
That's why pie is better, because you can sit down and eat an entire pie.
Oh, you can eat cake anywhere. You just gotta
Cake?
be.
I guess,
Yeah.
but like if you eat an entire cake, you're probably in for a bad
As someone who
time.
had
At least there's a little bit of filling in the pie, right? Cake, you're just getting the cake.
You can fill.
You're
You can fill that cake with whatever you want.
Your only bonus on a cake is what you put on the topping.
You can put some cherry in it. You get cherry filled cake.
Frost. You know why I don't like cake? Because I don't like frosting, and so often cake and frosting go hand in hand.
Frosting's so good. Fondant. I had a cake at
does that
the
even
first
mean?
birthday. Fondant.
Isn't she an actress, Jane Fonda?
Fondant? No. It's Jane Fonda.
Oh, okay.
Fondant's like what goes on top of donuts.
Oh,
It's
the
that
kind of
more,
like hard.
yeah, like
Okay,
sweet where it
okay.
hardens up and you
Yeah.
can like make stuff out of it.
Oh yeah.
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 Right.
Yeah.
It's real good. Real good. I had a cake this weekend that was just 2 tiers. One was chocolate, one was vanilla raspberry, covered in fondant and Mexican theme.
Would it be better if it was a pie covered in fondant?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
As someone who
We're
can
never-
see the benefit of both, there's nothing worse than a pie covered in
This
fondant.
is going to be Game of the Year all over again. We're never going to get out of here. Podcast at TalkingReckless.com is the address. You can tweet us as well if you want. Talk Reckless Pod on Twitter.
If we just keep arguing, pizza will sneak in the back door and win it.
Oh my God, pizza is a
yeah.
pie. There's another reason why pie is better.
That's
Ooh,
barely
yeah,
a
there you
pie.
go.
That's barely a pie.
No, that's a different
Or
league.
isn't it
That's a
the
different
open
thing.
face sandwich?
That's neither.
Podcast.
league.
TalkingReckless.com.
What about cupcakes?
Join us here on the show.
No, hang on, Matt. We got to talk about cupcakes.
Cupcakes
Oh, boy.
are incredible.
Talking
Yeah.
reckless.
We're doing a live stream.
Can't
on
get a cup
Friday.
pie.
We're doing a live stream on Friday. We're going to want to play some XCOM 2. Come join us. Kevin and I will be there. Twitch.tv/TheMantank. Anybody got any closing thoughts?
Follow us on Instagram at talking.reckless like Darth Blute did. Shout out to my homie.
Let's not start doing that.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
right.
But he just
Okay.
asked me to, and that was live.
All right.
And that
yeah.
will never happen again.
Sellout.
That's going to do it for the show. Thanks for joining me here, everybody. It was great having all of you in the studio. It was great having all of you listening at home or in your car or wherever. We'll see you here next week on the Talking Reckless podcast.